is what you could end up looking like if you eat some of the raw, frozen shrimp being sent to the United States by other countries.
Good. I knew that was going to happen. Good evening, everybody. Welcome to the following program. I am your host, Joe Nierman, a.k.a. Good Logic. I hope you all had a phenomenal day since we all last gathered here together. Today was a fun day, and I got a fun show for you tonight. The Washington Post is imploding. They're imploding as they are basically slaughtering their work staff, slashing it, people jumping from the building. Oh no. Layoff after layoff at the Washington Post. Big surprise. Perhaps that's part of a kickback from the whole result of USAID funds no longer going to supporting that trash organization. So we have reactions from a whole bunch of reporters, some of which are hilarious. And one of them even inspired me to start, perhaps, maybe we'll do it on the show. Maybe we'll do it on the air here, to start my own little GoFundMe. Perhaps. We'll see. Also, the American Medical Association has backtracked on their perspective that it's really a great idea to start transing children, and basically said, maybe not so much. So I'm going to talk about that and the possible ramifications of that 180-degree shift from the American Medical Association. And finally, Scott Bessent appeared on the House today, and he just beat up on a whole bunch of Democrats in ways, one clip after another I have for you. It's going to make you laugh. The guy just literally was just having a field day there, mocking them. Finally, what do I have for you? Well, in the background here, I got this guy who goes by the name of Sin. That's what people call him. Short for cynic, I think, or something like that. Anyhow, he called me up today, and he's like, so what's going on with the show tonight? What's going on? And I was like, well, I got so far at that point. I was like, all I got is the Washington Post imploding. And he said, did you see this whole thing with Elijah Schaffer? I saw something about that where his kid and his wife are missing or something. He's like, yeah, it's a crazy story. I said, great. Why don't you go do some research on it? Go dig it up. Go see what you can, bring it to the show. You'll bring it to me because I don't know much about that story. It sounds like it has potential. Well, I don't know if we're going to have time for it. He spent the next 2 hours just digging and digging and digging. I don't know if we're going to have time for it. So we have a goal. And if we hit our goal, I'm going to let Sin do his story, which is supposedly, he says, a whole rabbit hole. Is that what you called it, a rabbit hole?
It's not. It's the rabbit hole of craziness.
A rabbit hole of craziness. So we're going to go with, I'm going to let him share that story with you. It really was like his debut as working for this channel, because until now, he's just sort of been sitting here just coasting along. But if in fact you want to see him, like, deliver a story to you, which is supposedly like a crazy story, in that case, we need to hit our goal tonight. And that goal is 15 super chats of $10 or more. And it doesn't have to be super chats. It can be Rumble Rants. It can be Digger dollars. It can be shekel schmear. I don't care. You can, if you have some way of showing that you dropped in the mail all your pennies, you put them in this big giant box and kicked them over here at $10 worth, it counts. We need 15 of those total. And I think tonight we're going to do it. I'm feeling it.
Probably will, because this story, so you get, just to give like a little taste, you get a lot of like Elijah Schaffer was a degenerate.
Are you going to ruin it now? Are you going
to No, I'm not.
No.
That has been a rumor that's gone around for a couple years now, right? That's why he left the Blaze, was due to thing. You don't know about this?
I don't. Okay, no, you're going to have to walk us through it if and when we actually get there.
The main crux of it, the only person that has the full thread is Milo Yiannopoulos, and it's a lot. It's a lot.
You want it?
It's a lot. Just saying.
Are you done?
I'm just telling you.
I just want to. Just tell me if you're done.
I'm not gonna scoop my own story. What are you talking? I know how to do a show, Joe. I do a show 5 nights a week on FFS podcast.
Yeah, it seems very, very clear that you're very, very skilled at this.
I'm just trying to say you gotta understand the sources that we're getting here. It's wild. That's all I'm saying. I'm not. You know what? I'm gonna sit here and coast. You should probably shave or clean your hat more.
I'm trying to figure out where we should begin. Which story of the 3 stories that we're going to be covering? We got the AMA backtracking on transing, the WaPo imploding. Scott Bessent, which of those do you think I should start with? Do you tell me?
You were most excited about WaPo, so I think
I really was very excited about WaPo.
But my question is, if you're excited about something, I like to do what I'm most excited about. Like once I'm warmed up, you know what I mean? Once the show's been going for a minute, so I wouldn't come out the gate.
Make a decision.
I mean,
okay, fine. You know what? I'll go with one of those. I usually do start. To be fair, I usually do start with one of my like side stories that like I don't even reference in this description, just because it's like a little throw in.
We'll ease into it. Yeah.
Did you hear about Billie Eilish and her whole thing about like how we're on stolen land?
I didn't know. I saw she was trending recently, and I thought it was for other things. I didn't know it's for we're on stolen land. Is that what she was trending for?
Yes. Because when she was at the Grammys, she was saying that you can't be an illegal alien on stolen land.
Billy, what are you doing? Calm down.
Yeah. So, then as a result of that, so everyone started talking the next day or two about how her mansion, her $14 million mansion, which is in the Los Angeles Basin or whatever they call the area there, is apparently on land that belongs to the Tongva tribe.
So she should give it back, right?
And now we have breaking Sinai Law, the leading eviction firm in Los Angeles County, is now providing pro bono services to the Tongva tribe to remove Billie Eilish from her $14 million LA home, claiming that her admission of living on stolen land gives the tribe a legal right to the property. Eilish's admission that she lives on stolen land gives the tribe a rightful action for possession as the true owner of the property. 30-day notice already written and ready to be served.
Jeez, come on now.
Yeah, so I saw this. I thought it was funny. It was actually the first thought I had when I heard that she had a $14 million home on Tongva property, that maybe her statement could be used against her. So, I didn't just like let this thing go. I actually reached out to the Sinai law firm to ask them about this.
Did you really?
Oh, yes. I reached out to this guy, Avi Sinai, and I called him and got him on the phone. Yeah, I don't play around. I reached out to this guy and I spoke to him on the phone. Seems like a nice enough guy. I said to him, okay, so I told him who I am and what I do. And I said, maybe I'd like to, if you really think that there's a theory here to like take her property from her based on her admission, I'd be very curious about that. Only because, my first thought is, as like a lay person would be like, well, you just admitted it. When it comes to real property, the statements out of court, any statement that's not in writing tends to have little effect. So she just says it verbally. It doesn't tend to have much effect. But I was like, look, maybe there's different standards that they have in California. I don't know. So, but my first thought was, okay, so you just gave up all rights to your property. And then I was like, yeah, real property law, usually they're going to be very, very dependent. Statute of frauds comes in. You have to have something in writing. So I don't know that she could just give it up by some statement that she says when she's like high on meth at the Grammys. I don't know if that cuts. I don't know if that cuts it. I don't think that cuts it legally.
I don't think you can hand wave that away. Look, guys, I was high. What are you talking about?
Yeah, so I didn't think, I was like, so, but now you have a lawyer talking about how he's going to represent him. So I was very curious about that. This is what he sent. This is what he had sent out. Let me see. I'm not sure if you'll be here in this view. No, you're not. That doesn't work. I need to change that. That's not what I want. That's not how I want things to look. That's better. Yeah, so he sent out for immediate release. Sinai Law Firm is offering to evict Billie Eilish from her Los Angeles home on a pro bono basis on behalf of the Tongva tribe. Sinai Law Firm is the premier eviction firm in the county. Eilish's admission that she lives in stolen land gives the right tribe a rightful action for possession as the true owner of the property. Third, they know is already written and ready to be served. That's what he sent out. So I said, is that really true? Because if so, I want to have you on my show. He's like, yeah, maybe not. Maybe not. Like, probably not a great case to bring. Like, it's probably not a winner. It's probably going to get dismissed. So that was the takeaway I got. But I was talking about like maybe like having him on anyway, just because I thought it was funny. And
you can have him on to talk the merits of the case either way, whether it's a winner or not. You know what I mean? Like, it would be a fun show. I'd watch that one.
To be curious to see whether Billie might lose her home.
Yeah, what's the actual possibility of that happening? I mean, eminent domain is a thing, and if that tribe does appeal to the federal government,
yeah,
they could get it. I mean, there's definite possibilities in that. I would have to look up how eminent domains works with Native Americans, because I know it does. I know there's been cases of it, but I would have to see. They would have to have some beneficial reason for it that would bring benefit to the community.
Yeah, well, a series of bats says to keep Cynic employed encourages actually contributing to shows he's on. We have to talk Elliger. What's Elliger? I don't know what that is.
Talk Elliger, misspelling intentional.
Elliger? What do you know what that is?
I have no clue. A series of bats. What do you mean?
Oh,
Elijah.
Oh, Elijah.
Yeah,
Elijah Schaffer. Yeah, there you go.
I had to write a summary of this.
Did you?
That's how crazy it is. Yeah.
Did you? It's okay. I'm so curious now. I really hope tonight's one of the nights I hope we hit our goal. Often I'll throw the goal out there and I'm like, okay, if we don't hit the goal, I'm okay. I'm okay with it. I'm tired.
The fact that you don't know Elijah Schaffer's history is wild to me.
Okay, so I have a history. I have a personal history with Elijah Schaffer.
Yeah, but you don't know like
he knows who I am. I've been
I get that, but have you paid attention to him at all?
I know.
Go ahead.
Do you want to hear my background with him?
Yeah, I do. I would like to hear.
First time I met Elijah Schaffer was when I was with him on Nick Recato.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
because Nick was friends with him.
Yeah,
and it seemed pretty funny.
Mm-hmm.
I felt like I was like the third wheel there. It was kind of really like if I were to, like, I don't know, in theory, bring Andrew Brank up here and you're here, like that's what I felt like on this show there. Like you would felt in that, you would feel in that type of scenario.
I didn't feel like a third wheel at all. I felt like you were the third wheel there.
Where I felt
I felt like you were really fighting for attention from Bronco.
If such a scenario would ever unfold, so that's how you might feel. So that's sort of how I felt. Like I was like, I'm throwing stuff in here once in a while, but for the most part,
God, you're so hitting this damn goal.
for the most part, I was like, all right, yeah, I throw in a joke here and there, whatever. But it was mostly Elijah was taking the show over. That was like what he was doing.
Yeah.
Then one day he reaches out to me. And he asked me if I would come on his show. And I was like, sure, let's do it. Now, and when I went on there, it seemed like he had, I would say, a slight issue. I think I walked out of there calling him adjacent to anti-Semitism. Like I didn't.
Okay,
I said,
so I was about to say, so he was doing the Candace Owens thing.
Oh yeah,
before she was. Okay.
So I basically said I don't think he's anti-Semitic, but I definitely think he's very comfortable with people who really hate Jews. Like he's really comfortable with that crowd.
Yeah.
So that's why I said, like, I was like, he's anti-Semitic adjacent.
Gotcha.
Yeah. He's like, let's promote these people. Like he would basically call the anti-Semites like, brilliant people, like, based, insightful, healthier perspective without saying, like walking up to the line. It even got to a point on the show. I was like, dude, your name is Elijah Schaffer. That's like the most Jewish name in the world.
Very Jewy. Yeah.
This is like Nick. I'm so astonished by this. Nick Fuentes is like, that's the white nationalist. I'm like, dude, I mean, Fuentes is like the furthest thing from what I would assume is a white person.
Mexican. Yeah. I've always questioned that one too. Like, why are white people following Fuentes? That doesn't make anything.
It's almost like it's a wink kind of joke. Like, like they're almost like a parody of themselves.
Mm-hmm.
So, but then I remember, like, Adolf was all about the super Aryans and the, blonde hair, blue eyed, and look at that dude. So it's like,
well, that's more of a preference, though. You know what I mean? Like, he looked at himself in the mirror and was like, if I could be like that. These guys are just very Jewy and Mexican at the same time. And
which he claimed that he wasn't really Jewish. He claimed that it was like his, like,
is Schaffer
25%? Schaffer's Jewish name.
I was about to say that's definitely Jewy, right?
Yeah, Schaffer's I mean, it could be German, but I mean, there was
with the first name Elijah attached.
Elijah's a very Jewish name.
You and him have the same nose. Things are.
Oh
my god.
Oh my gosh.
To make sense here.
So I was just like, I was like, Elijah's a very Jewish name. Schaffer is a pretty Jewish last name. It depends on how it's spelled. Like they spell it different ways. Like if you ever see a person whose last name ends with ski, or
Steve.
So ski. I want to point something out to you here.
Yeah.
If they spell it SKY, they're usually Jewish. If it's SKI, they're usually like Polish and not Jewish. And they often will hate, so like that like the IY spelling is a very distinct difference, which I've noticed being a difference between being Jewish or not, or being, not Jewish.
I'm taking notes. Hold on. Keep a lookout for
the Y's. SKYs.
Okay. Thank you.
SKYs. Guard your money from the SKYs.
I'm just taking notes on the SKYs over here. I'm just asking questions.
At a certain point there, I started feeling like a little uncomfortable. And when I was on his show, at a certain point, less from him and more from his audience, which seemed like at a certain point that they were just like, all right, we've had enough of this Jew. Yeah. And I can tell I think I can tell pretty well when people are joking. I'll usually assume that people are joking around, but some of the comments are just clearly like there's no effort at humor at all. It's just,
just hate-filled,
it's just really it's really kind of ugly. And there was a lot of that littered in his audience. So
yeah, he got very comfortable with it very fast when he was in Australia. I don't know if he
was living in Australia when I met him on Rekieta.
Yeah, he got very comfortable with it very fast. And I never, because I quit watching him after he came on Rekieta, actually, because he had just like something weird. It was the Sarah Gonzalez stuff had happened. And I quit watching him after that because it was a little like his story was a little iffy and shady, and he was coming out a little too
and then he had that whole relationship, that story, right? There was the whole situation he had with that woman, right? With
Sarah Gonzalez. He
not Sarah Gonzalez, a different one.
Oh, you talking about the Orthodox Christian lady?
Some woman who he had some sort of. I think she claimed he was. Her
name is Sarah. You talking about Sarah Stock?
All right, you keep talking about Sarah. It's not Sarah Gonzalez.
No. There's another one named Sarah Stock that is a big.
He had a moment on the show. He had this show, and he had a moment on the show where he did something that was like that got him in trouble. Sydney, right? Sydney Watson.
Sydney
Watson.
That was it. Yeah, that was the other one. Yeah, I figured she started streaming with a quartering. Sydney Watson. She's another one of those like I'm supposed to be right wing, but never had conservative values ever. I never once heard her have conservative values on anything.
I don't know if I've talked with you about this, but there's been a lot of people who've talked about how women conservatives just seem they just seem to be just shells of like their male counterparts.
Yeah, I forgot about Sydney Watson. That was a show.
That was the name I was looking for, Sydney Watson.
That was the show that he was on. You Are Here podcast. Whenever he
Hello,
got
Sydney.
fired from the Blaze.
That was good, right?
Yeah, that was really good. Yeah,
Right.
yeah, she's definitely liberal. And then she went to work with the quartering, and then something happened with the quartering. I have no clue. I just sort of quit following her because I was like, well, you're just grifting off the right wing with no values of your own. So
yeah. All right, let's catch up on some of these chats. Joe, Larry Sharpe is running for New York State governor. He ran for governor 3 times, trying to get on the Republican ticket in New York State. Can you try to get him on your show for an interview to make a difference? I could. I mean, I don't think it would make much of a difference. People don't realize just how little influence. I mean, but I could. Yeah, sure. I mean, the point. The reason I feel like it's so little influence is look at the size of my channel compared to like the Young Turks, right?
yeah,
And like the host of the Young Turks, when he ran in a Democrat primary, got like what 2%, from his state when he was running for when he was trying to run for his for a House seat. It's like I don't know, because my audience is not centered in a particular jurisdiction. So if I have 10,000 people watching me a night, it could be that there's 200 in New York State, and they're from around the world. So it's like I don't know how much influence ends up having, but sure, I guess. I mean, is he funny? Am I gonna have fun with him? Are we gonna have a good time?
yeah, that's the problem. So I do. It's not politics, but I also we do promotional streams on my show for indie comic book creators and indie creators. And there's the question. The question that you just asked is, are they going to be funny? Are they going to be, if not funny, some way entertaining or interesting? And if they aren't, are they going to allow me to put on an entertaining show without interjecting with derail nonsense boring?
Right. The entire show will be like a cringe fest of me, just basically so what's your position on illegal aliens?
Yeah, that's exactly what it becomes. And it's so, it just becomes ad nauseum by the time I hate it. I can't stand it. So it's very hard to do stuff like that.
With him telling me everything that, is pre-scripted and whatever. Yeah, so I mean, I'm not opposed to it in principle. I'm just wondering if in practice it actually benefits him or it benefits my audience. Like if it's a benefit to either of us. So Montana Bow Lady, I think trans surgery should be banned until age 25. From what I understand, the brain isn't fully developed until age 25. That's correct. I agree with you. I agree with this take.
I think
especially when you consider the fact that, think about this, the reason why her comment here is so insightful. The entire premise of the trans movement is that, your brain is controlling what you are. It's like can determine your gender. Well, if your brain is controlling your gender and it's not fully formed yet, how insane is it to just assume where it's going to end up finishing? So yeah, but we'll talk about that more when I get to the trans story. Brian Oldenkamp coming in here and just saying, Joe, you're doing the extra time. That's happening. We're hearing this Elijah Schaffer story, and maybe we will. Who knows? If Milo's your source, you're going to need penicillin, methoxylin, and Cillin is out there to cure your stupidity. No one gives an F about Elijah Schaffer. Can we just sparkle and Iran move on?
When you're digging through this, when Joe said, "Hey, you should do this segment and present it to me," I went, "Well, it's Wednesday. I just want to whatever. All right, fine then. I won't coast." And then I started digging into it. This was brought to me by a fan of my show. He was like, "Hey, I watched Joe's show too. Are y'all going to talk about this?" I was like, I'll bring it up to Joe. I'll see what it is." And then I started digging into it, and I was just like, the only source of anything is Milo that has any sort of. Everybody else is just like random Twitter John Joe 7193 said this one thing happened this one time, and it's like, okay, so.
Well, I'll tell you. Milo, I never met Milo or interacted with him in any way, shape, or form. I have no reason to assume he knows I'm alive.
Yeah.
I believe roughly 4% of everything Milo says.
I cross-referenced all my stuff with
Okay.
19 web pages, like
Okay.
19 websites. So,
All right.
um,
Lauren Southern did a great takedown as to like his lack of credibility, and I covered that. And when she did her 2-hour thing, I actually went through it on air here.
Lauren Southern, another right-wing grifter. Sorry.
I feel you on that.
Yeah.
And there's certain parts that I was just like, but the parts on Milo were actually, I found, as I recall, relatively. I remember walking out of there feeling like, all right, Milo's pretty scummy.
Yeah.
That was the takeaway I had. Another two from Brian Oldenkamp, who's like, no, Joe, we're hearing the Milo story.
Thanks, Brian.
He's great. He's great. Brian is awesome. Just got here. Is her property on fee simple land within the tribe property? I owned 2 lots in tribal land in Washington. It was fee simple. I don't know. I know nothing about the laws of real property that has some sort of.
I've never had to deal with it. Now, where my license was originated from, there are Indian tribes. There's like 3 of them down there, but they've all they've got their land settled. Like you never deal with them unless they want to live off reservation, and then you're dealing with the tribe to purchase said house.
Right.
So you never deal.
Right. Well, that was me opening up Rumble Ghetto to see if I had anything. Hands One Pack says, I followed Elijah way before he was anybody. This is back when he was in California going to campus protests like Berkeley. But Elijah has gone full retard lately. So, Elijah, there you go. Daniel Weimer gifting 20 Good Logic memberships. You go, Daniel. Should we see who we brought on in here? Good Logic membership. Let's see who he brought on. Let's see who he brought on in here. The following 20 people brought into the following courtesy of Daniel Weimer. That would include you. Please, when you hear your name, make sure that you express your gratitude for Daniel Weimer for bringing you into a gathering of like-minded individuals who are all seeking greater personal growth through community, unity, learning, and thinking. Part of that greater personal growth is expressing gratitude to Daniel, and that would include you, Little Wing, as well as Around the World in 180 Days, Tony HI1C, Dichotomy Dave, Jonathan Spriel, Marmat, James Ailes, Jonas Blue, Janet McCarty, Poppy, Kristen Wilson, Bunny Murphy, Jude Curio as Thunder Snow, John Seaman, Rufio Banning, Kelly Allday, Kata Bean, Brandy Thacker, Mish, Aya, and that's our list. There you go. Aya, welcome to the following. Please bear in mind that I am not at all the leader of the following. I'm just the host. That's what I'm doing here. So welcome aboard and thank you again. God bless you, Daniel. I'm going to give you another horn for that because I can.
But that's only because you mailed me paperwork about the cult. Like you mailed me. You said like you gave me ownership of it, and you made me send you a penny.
I was never ever. No. Okay.
The paperwork says transfer of ownership of the cult.
I was never not at all the leader of the following.
Then who transferred it to you? And how did you legally get around?
I don't even understand your question here. It's very confusing to me.
This is nonsense. I've got a cabin filled with Kool-Aid jumpsuits. I've got like those matching Nikes that you told me to order.
Yeah.
And now I have no clue. I can't stay in here. There's no room.
No, well. Welcome aboard. Elijah got very bitter after January 6th. He almost went to jail for being a reporter at the Capitol. Changed him a lot. Maybe. I don't know. Could be. But I met him after January 6th. Because I only made one appearance on Nick Ricado before January 6th. I made it a couple days beforehand. And I didn't go back there for a few months. So, Elijah was not there that night. So it was after January 6th. But I don't know. You who follow him longer may know better. Likely do. Speaking of wacky individuals, you want to hear something crazy?
Why? Of course.
So there's this guy who tried stabbing a cop, and the cop had to shoot him in New York.
Nice.
Okay, that Zoran Mamdani felt very very, very terrible about the incident. So you know what he did? He went to visit the victim there, which is obviously the guy with the knife.
Why are Democrats more committed to demonizing law enforcement than in defending you, law-abiding citizens? And now another clear example from New York City Mayor Zoran Mamdani, who recently made a hospital visit, not to see a police officer, but to see the man who stabbed a police officer with a knife.
I don't think he stabbed him. I think he tried stabbing him. So I don't think he successfully did. He came running at him with a knife, but doesn't seem as if the police officer got stabbed. So I think Scott was a little mistaken there from facts that I know.
Here's cut 14.
And as you said, I spoke with the Chakraborty family and I visited Chavez in the hospital. And there is no family should have to endure this kind of pain.
That audio you heard there, that's the audio, the sound of someone stabbing a police officer.
So again, I think Scott's mistaken here. I don't think the officer got stabbed. At least there's no official record of that. So I want to make sure my audience is properly informed.
With a knife. So a police officer in New York is attacked in the line of duty, and Zoran Mamdani shows up to comfort the attacker. That is your Democratic Party, America, in 2026. They have chosen a side. It is not the police.
This is true. This is true. Is that insane?
Man, anything that comes out of New York nowadays, I just sort of
nothing can surprise you. Even that.
No, it's such a wild war zone of a crazy place that people are desperately clinging on to. It just blows my mind.
It's insanity. It's craziness. It's crazy.
There's nothing else you can say about it. I mean, everything that I see come out of there, I'm like, I have to like cross-reference it and see if it's real or fake anymore. It's sort of like Babylon B, the city, that you know, like you have to go, wait, hold on, is that true? Is it not? Like, what's going on here? So,
as Daniel Warren points out, first rule of following is you are not in a cult.
You're not in it.
You see, I think it's very. It can't be. It can't be any clearer. It could not be any clearer.
Yeah.
Joe, the leader. No, I am not at all the leader of the following.
Not anymore. Not since I signed these papers without reading them.
Saying you're the lieutenant. I don't know. Maybe you're the lieutenant because you signed those papers. just saying. Just saying. I don't know. I don't know. And Zelian says, Joe, I believe you can fly. I believe you can touch the sky. You think about it every night and day. Spread your wings and fly away. Okay. He also says, Joe, New York can't even do trash. Why do they care about the person who they tried to stab? I don't know if I told you ever my New York trash story. He shares a link here, so I'm gonna. This is a story that happened with me. I don't know what this is. Oh my god. Yeah, I've seen stuff like this. This is horrible. Unbelievable.
That's how could you even live there? I was driving through my town on the way back home, and there was a lot where a guy had like, you know, like an old car and a bunch of like random junk sitting out front. And immediately I was like, man, I'm gonna have to snitch. I'm gonna have to call the city council on this. Like, I'm gonna have to snitch.
You have to.
That's getting a little bad right there. I don't want to see it when I drive through like a landfill yard when I come to my house. And to imagine walking the streets of New York and just blocks of garbage piled up, 6-7 feet high. And what do you, how, if you think about the logistics or just like the mental fatigue it's got to be to pay thousands of dollars for a closet in New York
Yep.
and to walk down to carry your garbage out,
Yep.
and you throw it 6 feet up in the air to get it off the walking path.
That's how you take out the garbage in New York.
Man, that is crazy.
Yep.
That is insanity.
I'll tell you that I was with Lady Logic in New York one time. We were going to a restaurant and we're walking down the street, and all of a sudden we see these two girls like turn the corner, like come from around the corner and shrieking, running with their hands up. So we were like, what the heck? Not like in like shock, because it's New York, right? So like if people are acting like lunatics, you're not that surprised, right? It's like shrieking, acting like lunatics. And they run on past, and then all of a sudden from around the corner, we see this horde of like thousands and thousands of rats running at us.
The Big Apple. If you can make it here, you can make it anywhere.
I very gallantly
ran.
Turned them.
You did.
Ran in the middle of the street, looking every bit like one of those girls, like, I don't care. I'm running in traffic. Are you kidding me? I ran through traffic. I'm like, no, let them run over the rats. I was just like, I don't know what happened to Lady Logic. All I know is I just fled.
She survived, but you don't know how.
She did survive, thank God. Yeah.
You were less scared of New York traffic than you were of New York rats.
It's not a joke that if you actually go there, now when you go take the subway in New York, it's like you're an idiot if you stand within like 6 feet of the edge of the platform while we're waiting for a train, because some lunatic is apt to just run up behind you and just shove you in for no reason whatsoever.
Yeah.
But back in the day when that wasn't a genuine concern, if you stood near there and you looked down in the tracks, more often than not, you would just see rats running around in the tracks there. It's horrible. It's horrible. So yeah, terrible place. Iowa Backyard Cam says, let's do this. They want your story, brother. They want your story. Well, I just share with you Scott Jennings.
Yeah.
And his little clip about Mamdani. And he's the one who broke the news over here to me about the AMA. So I'm going to let him do the same for you, because this is actually what I think as we get into the first of our main stories here about the AMA backtracking on trans and kids. So I'm going to let Scott break it down for you.
Welcome back to the Scott Jennings Show.
I didn't even know the dude had a show.
More breaking news for you today, and it is a political earthquake. Two of the most powerful medical institutions in the United States just blew up one of the left's most protected sacred cows. The American Society of Plastic Surgeons and the American Medical Association have now both gone on the record saying the same thing. There is insufficient evidence to justify gender transition surgeries for minors.
Look at that.
And these surgeries should generally be deferred to adulthood. That's not conservative media. That's not Republicans. That's not Donald Trump making a social media post. That is the medical establishment finally backing away. The plastic surgeons, 11,000 of them, now warn that chest, genital, and facial surgeries for minors are irreversible and unsupported by solid long-term evidence. And the AMA, for the first time, is saying out loud what trans cult activists spent years trying to suppress, that we don't actually know if any of this helps kids.
This is why I called it Frankensteining children. Because that's what it is. It's just like we're just going to just start changing things and giving them different medications and cutting things off. And it's insanity to think that this is actually considered practicing medicine rather than rather than just like some sort of, Dr. Giggles type of sick medical horror. So that's basically, what are your thoughts on this? Do you think that this is actually going to change anything? Because there's a whole industry now of doctors who
Yeah,
are
that's what
out
I was
there.
about to say. I remember a couple years ago there was a convention of doctors at the University of Vanderbilt, and they were talking about they said the quiet part out loud that these people become forever patients. You
Mhm.
know what I mean? They become a forever medical class. They can never not go to the doctor. Like you or me, barring some injury or crazy sickness or disease, right? Most people can go
Years.
years without seeing a doctor.
Years.
These
Yeah.
people have to go, these kids will have to go for the rest of their life every 3 months, depending on everything that's done. They'll never not have to go. They'll never not be on a medication. They'll never not have to have things checked up on a periodic basis. Like it's insanity. And they were talking about how much money there is in it and
Mhm.
how that should be the concern. And it blew my mind that they were saying this in an interview. Or well, at this like conference that they had recorded. And just because they're saying it now, there's too much money in it though.
Yeah.
Just because they're saying it like, "Oh yeah, you should defer it." I think that's a good idea. Doesn't look at the opioid crisis, right? People knew that opioids weren't good for you.
And
Um,
the reports are that like when kids would come for counseling,
mhm,
here's how you knew it wasn't medicine.
yeah,
Like 98 like out of 100, if not 99 like out of 100 ended up transing.
yeah,
So it's like,
the major
anyone
percentage,
who made the mistake of visiting a doctor was basically prescribed, you must start taking drugs to block your natural development
mhm,
and start working on a path towards getting surgery. Like every one of them is like continually like approved. Oh yeah, of course, you're trans. Oh yeah, of course, you're trans, which is insane. And yeah, well, anyway, even the New York Times seems a little surprised by this when they're reporting over here. Doctors group endorses restrictions on gender-related surgery for minors. So this is just the surgeries. This is not the medicine. So they're still probably going to be taking blockers. We're still, this fight is long way from over. But for the first time, two major medical groups have backed limitations on gender-related surgical treatments for minors in the United States. It's the first time that that's happened in the United States. In Europe, they already started recognizing years ago that this is terrible. And what they were doing to their kids, to European kids, was terrible. America is behind on this as far as waking up to this. The American Medical Association, the nation's largest organization representing doctors, on Wednesday said these procedures generally should be deferred until patients reach adulthood. The American Society of Plastic Surgeons took a similar position on Tuesday, saying that gender-related surgery should be delayed until age 19. It really should be, as someone here said earlier, it should be age 25, because their minds are not made up yet.
yeah,
And to think that someone who can be gender fluid or whatever, this is insanity. That their brains literally have not physically matured to a point that they're able to make a decision like this. And it's such a travesty. This is something that our society is going to have to answer to. 2 generations now we'll be answering for how we allow this to happen. And frankly, we didn't, you and me and people who was watching the show didn't allow it to happen. We were screaming about it the entire time. We just didn't have the clout to stop it. But those people who are on this side of the aisle of the trans folk are going to have a lot of answers that they're going to have to give, because this is just more and more misery. And the issue is becoming increasingly fraught as the federal government and some states move to ban medical interventions for adolescents with gender dysphoria. So now here's the thing. This AMA finding helps states pass laws.
yeah,
Now when this issue comes up before courts, it's like they can be like, look, the AMA is recognizing that this is not a healthy thing for children. So that's something that helps in that regard. Do I think that this is going to stop that whole industry overnight? No, definitely not. Definitely not. It will, I think, certainly put a slowdown on it. It emboldens states that are not crazy left to actually pass laws and have those laws withstand scrutiny from the court.
Mm-hmm.
Because they can now you have something, they're always saying trust the science, trust the science. Well, now the scientists, the highly really impressive scientists with all degrees on the wall are all coming out and saying, oh well, this is not a good idea. So that is a good thing for helping bolster lawmakers who are trying to stop this from actually having their laws withstand court scrutiny and not be deemed unconstitutional or oppressive or something of that nature. This really helps in the legal field that states will be able to actually put a stop to this. Until now, most of the nation's medical groups have opposed efforts to restrict gender-related care, with many calling it evidence-based decisions that consider the specific needs of a patient no matter their age. These treatments may include puberty-blocking drugs, hormone therapies, and in rare cases, surgeries. A review of hospital data, this is interesting, they're talking even about puberty-blocking drugs. A review of hospital data from 2016 through 2020 identified about 3,600 patients aged 12 to 18 who had received gender-related surgery. The vast majority were mastectomies, which, in case you're confused with that, is girls who are basically cutting off their upper bodies. Some doctors have argued that minors should have access to mastectomies before 18 because breast development takes place early in puberty. Breasts are so visible and distressing that transitioning teams sometimes go to great lengths to conceal them, often binding their chests. In publishing in its new recommendations on Tuesday, the Plastic Surgeon Society said its decision was based on a review of the existing science on long-term outcomes for minors who had received operations such as mastectomies. The research in its statement said was insufficient to show benefits and of low quality. Some studies hinted at the possibility of treatment complications and potential harms following irreversible procedures. In the absence of clear evidence, the AMA agrees with ASPS that surgical interventions in minors should be generally deferred to adulthood, the statement said. Anyway, so the other medical associations are slower as far as waking up to reality. But you want to know what else may help curb that industry?
I'd love to hear that.
You want some good news as far as
because there's too much money in this, and there's chat. When I tell you there's forever money, it is forever money. Though if they survive, because the rates of what they can do to themselves are 46% up to 50 at this point, it's forever money.
Well, if you want to see some prescience here from one of my viewers to show you how insightful my viewers are. Daniel Weimer says, I'm guessing upcoming lawsuits have changed their opinion. Yeah. That's exactly where I'm going next.
In a legal first, a jury in New York awarded a 22-year-old woman $2 million in damages over her gender transition surgery that took place when she was a teenager. The plaintiff accused her psychologist and plastic surgeon of violating standard practices in their fields that led to her receiving a gender transition double mastectomy that she feels left her disfigured. Benjamin Ryan wrote about the first malpractice verdict against providers of gender-affirming care for minors for the Free Press. He was the only reporter to attend the entire 3-week trial. We should note Paramount, the parent company of CBS News, owns the Free Press. For more on this, Benjamin joins us now here in Studio 57. He is an independent reporter who covers youth gender medicine, including on his Substack. So, Benjamin, let's go ahead and talk about the verdict itself. What stood out to you about the jury's reasoning here?
Well, it's hard to know exactly what they were thinking, but what they were convinced.
I didn't hear his voice until just now.
Unit. I was going over my docket right quick, and I come back. I just heard you pause. I was like, "Wait, did StreamYard die?" And I saw your face.
I just think it's interesting. This guy is covering this story. I just thought that was interesting. I mean, did you hear his voice?
Mm-hmm. I did. Rewind it a couple seconds.
Verdict itself. What stood out to you about the jury's reasoning here?
Well, it's hard to know exactly what they were thinking, but they were.
I was like, wow, he sat there for the whole 3 weeks. Was he really? He must have been really invested in this. He must have been really invested in this story to like sit through this for 3 weeks.
It's so hard to just like, wrap your head around all this stuff. It's been, crazy
I just
few
think that.
2-3 weeks,
Well,
It's
what I
just been
first
wild.
thought was that this is
And
really, yeah. I'm sorry. Tell us what the jury had to say.
it sounds like it sounds like the type of guy who has a list, but he knows it's embarrassing on live TV, so he's trying to not put that certain type of inflection in his voice. Let's hear him again. I think I just, you know what? It's been a real wildfire for 3 weeks here. After this news came out, I was flabbergasted. I fainted. I was clutching pearls.
Let's
let the man talk, Joe.
Was that the psychologist and the plastic surgeon didn't communicate well with one another, and the psychologist in particular was faulted for being sloppy and essentially being rushed in his care of this girl. It was only about 11 months between the time where she first socially transitioned at the age of 15 and a half, and she ultimately had her breasts removed at age 16 and a half.
This is
What
a
do you
serious
think
news
this
story.
verdict will mean for future lawsuits of this kind?
Well, I've certainly spoken with other litigators, other lawyers in this field, and they do feel that this will embolden others to join the field. Others have been waiting on the sidelines. So there are about 27 other similar cases that I've been able to tabulate. Some of them
no!
a short period of time.
What?
There's already 27 other cases just waiting in the wings. People said this when all this started happening. What was it, around like it started before 2016, but it really became very big, after Trump, right? You started seeing the Target stories, like Target had like transgender kids clothes, had things like it had that whole little section or whatever. It became very mainstream. But people were saying this is an experimental like class of people. Eventually somebody's gonna go, wait a minute, I was bamboozled, and they're gonna sue the hell out of somebody.
Well, I'll tell you this much, and I'll come back to this story in a moment, but I'll just point this out. If you're thinking that maybe there's a class action suit, I will tell you it's very unlikely. Very, very unlikely that you'll be able to get a class action suit. Because class action suit is a way to go after the industry altogether and really hit them for hundreds of millions of dollars.
But there's no actual industry, though. All these are little, they're separate.
They're all mom and pop like individuals.
It's all cottage industry, right? There's like separate.
There probably are hospitals, though. There probably are hospitals which are geared more for others, and certain clinics.
But how many? And honestly, how many people do you think one hospital done to?
Might be 100,
maybe 100. So you could probably have a class action of that 100 people.
No,
on that hospital.
That's what I'm saying. You probably couldn't.
Why is that?
Because if you want to have a class get properly certified, you need to have a class where each person's story has
similar
overriding factors that constitute a valid claim. And over here, each individual patient is likely to be deemed that their fact-specific issues that led them towards ultimately getting the surgery are so unique to them that it's not fair to apply that to the entire class.
Gotcha.
So that's why I don't expect that we'll see a successful class action. I think people might try to get a certification of class. I hope I'm wrong on this, but my gut is that from the perspective of the law, each individual case is going to be difficult to certify a class. So
somebody said in the chat, it's not a cottage industry, it's major medical hospital. Yeah, but what I'm talking about is in that hospital, there's only a couple doctors at most that are going to be pushing these surgeries. So it's like what Joe said.
Yeah, but they're pushed along by the hospital. You can go after the hospital. In
Yeah,
other
but
words, if you have someone's working for St. Jude's Hospital or some other hospital, and I'm not saying St. Jude does this. I don't know anything about.
Yeah.
You know, I don't know which hospitals are more prodigious in this area than others, but I think that it doesn't matter once you have the doctor, the hospital that he's working out of is probably on the hook too, and you
Yeah, I
probably
get
would want
that,
to see both. Yeah.
But most of the times, though, the way that stuff's working is that doctor's making his own decisions and practicing through the hospital. And yeah, the hospital now is on the hook too,
Yep.
but it's, you know what I mean? But
Yeah.
it's usually going to be an independent doctor that is, working there. It's a mess. It's all a mess. Either way, it's a damn mess. And people said it,
So that's the sort of thing which make doctors and hospitals pause. The exposure to serious economic harm, if this starts becoming something that's more commonplace, that could really halt the entire industry.
I would need to do some research on this and see exactly or as close to how many hospitals, like hospital networks were pushing this versus like actual doctors solo practicing were pushing it. Because I would be willing to bet it started majorly, a majority of them being like single doctors in their own private practices.
Well,
and then
probably,
Yeah,
but at this point, the entire medical industry seems to have been behind it. But $2 million is not nearly enough. If they got hit with 25 million, because 2 million, it probably cost 2 million to do her whole. If they probably racked up $2 million in fees on this one patient alone, or close to it, $1 million. So if they end up losing,
if it was covered by insurance, 100%.
That's and they almost always are. And plus, there's grants from different states and different things like that. There's always different funds that the patient doesn't pay, but basically helps cover the cost of this.
Yeah.
So if they look at it like, okay, you know what, this one patient, we took in $1 million and we lost 2 million, but by and large, we're making enough from all the other patients that it's worthwhile. They're going to keep doing it. But if they get hit instead with a $2 million penalty, a $25 million penalty on someone that, they're losing 25 times their money on multiple people, that would give them rapid pause. This $2 million, I don't think is enough to give.
That's nothing. Yeah, they don't care about that. They have some form of insurance to cover that.
Yeah.
That they're going to go, oh, oopsie, and then they're going to do an insurance claim. That kid's going to get paid out, and they're not going to worry about it. Would you, in order to make the industry stop, right, actually take notice and do a standstill, would a class action lawsuit be beneficial?
Oh yeah.
But how do you do that? How would you do a class action lawsuit?
Well, that's what I'm saying. I don't think you can,
because all these medical networks are separate.
And no, not because the defendants are separate, but because the plaintiff's stories are too different from each other.
So, okay, but let's say
unless this is how in theory you could do it. I'm just going to brainstorm here. And again, I'm not a class action attorney. In fact, there are class action specialists. There are 4 elements in order to qualify and be certified as a class. You have to meet all 4 of these elements. Otherwise, you cannot be certified as a class. So one of those is that you need to have numerosity. That's just too many patients for us to actually have each of them named separately. So that's numerosity, right? So you can't have thousands and thousands of people all come in and take depositions of them. That's first and foremost. You need to have typicality, which is that there's the same set of facts that constitute a wrong apply to all the members of the class. And the representative has to fit in with that typicality. Gotcha. So if you can establish that there was, let's say, a hospital or group of hospitals that their pattern for how they dealt with it was inherently flawed and wrong. And in that case, you now could turn around and say that this pattern, which is illegal, or it was medical malpractice, that pattern itself was the flaw.
Yeah.
Then in theory, you can say, okay, so all the people who went through these hospitals and were subjected to that pattern and ended up suffering a similar type of damage. But even there, measuring the damage that they had is really very different from one plaintiff to another, which is another thing that makes it hard to say that this plaintiff, whoever the lead plaintiff is, the named person up there who's representing the class, to say that their damages are commonly shared by everyone else is very difficult to establish. Let me make this point like a little bit clearer so you can understand what's a typical class action suit. Okay, typical class action suit is you have a refrigerator company, okay, a refrigerator manufacturer. They say that there's 37 cubic feet of space in there, and they're selling their refrigerators for $1,000 a piece. I'm just throwing numbers out, okay? They say, and all their advertisements say 37 cubic feet of space, 37 cubic square feet
I
of
really
space.
need that 37 feet.
Right, and then someone measures and sees it's only 32.
Yeah.
So now everyone was shortchanged by 5 cubic feet.
I want 5 feet of whoever built that refrigerator.
So now all the people who paid $1,000 for 37 cubic feet and are only getting 32 cubic feet, they all suffer the exact same damage. So now you could have thousands of people who all suffer that same damage, and it's the exact same damage for each person. But how could you possibly measure and say that the damages that one person had as a result of the emotional scarring and the damages and the physical scarring that they have and everything else that they're dealing with is the same for this person as it is for the other person who got the mastectomy or had their winkies removed. You know, it's not
medical term.
That is the medical term right there.
Yeah.
So, you know, so the emotional scarring and all that other stuff, which is an essential element to the claim.
There's no way to calculate that either.
There's no way to calculate that for an entire class.
Yeah.
You really have to go victim by victim. And that's why finding class certification for this, I think, would be a real struggle. I'm just being real with you. Let me finish up this report and from this guy as to like his thoughts on the trial.
Let's get back to him. It's fantastic.
Yeah.
Time after which you can file a lawsuit, but there's one coming up in Missouri in August, and also very big one, Chloe Cole, probably the most famous detransitioner. Her trial against Kaiser Permanente will be in California in April.
What was it like in the courtroom?
It was very powerful. I think in particular, we've heard a lot about this talk about suicide, about that these treatments and surgeries prevent suicide. And to hear this mother to say that she was opposed to the surgery from the start, that she was browbeaten by the psychologist, in her words, and to ultimately consenting, even though she never wanted it. And then we heard from Dr. Lauren Schechter, and he's the head of gender affirming surgery at Rush University in Chicago. And he said he's also, by the way, the president-elect of the World Professional Association for Transgender Health. And he said that these surgeries are not suicide prevention. So that was a very powerful moment.
And we should mention also that it is a very small number of people who do end up transitioning, right?
Numbers are unknown, maybe 5 to 10%, but there's not really.
Somebody in the chat says Cynic sounds a lot different on national television. It killed me. You know what, chat? I'm closing that window until this segment is over. You don't know how to behave yourself.
Let me finish up here.
Hell at this time.
Okay, Benjamin Ryan, thank you.
Thanks a lot.
So that's the real name. Benjamin Ryan. The name is out there now. It was that $2 million detransition lawsuit when that did it. It was a few days ago that they abandoned ship. Perhaps.
Yeah, they should have a long time ago. Based off of just being.
No, what Kimmy's saying is the reason the AMA is doing an about face. Perhaps they're afraid of being sued, but that they basically are doing an about face because this lawsuit win, if that's true, which is very plausible that this was certainly a significant factor. That's a basis. That's a significant thing about this win, you know?
Yeah.
So, Daniel Wama says, this is the drizzle before the storm. Those are the first group of children hitting adulthood. Each year we will see more lawsuits. I totally agree with this. I think this is going to start becoming something we see all the time. I think we're going to be seeing multiple lawsuits per year. And at first it'll be like, a few, and then you're just going to see like dozens, if not hundreds.
Yeah, I mean, I guarantee you there's going to be some doctor out there that had a script. They had some sort of script that they read to these kids and to the parents, and they used it over and over and over again and talked these kids into doing this kind of stuff. And it is, that's out there. It's monstrous. What they're doing is monstrous.
Yeah.
It's disgusting.
It's horrible. It's horrible. And worse yet, like how they had this air of compassion. Oh, don't you care about these kids?
Not
Yeah,
just
I care.
compassion, superiority about
Yeah,
it. It was
yeah.
that's what was disgusting to me. Like they would shame you for disagreeing
Yep.
and then act like they were morally superior as you look at them and go, whoa, whoa, whoa. You're supposed to do no harm.
Yeah.
You have no clue what you're doing right now. I'm a big dumb retard from Alabama, and I go, that seems to me like you're doing harm.
Yeah. A lot of harm. Permanent scarring.
Yeah.
Montana Bole says, I lost all my female parts due to cancer. That's horrible. I'm sorry for that.
I'm sorry to hear that.
I give anything to not lost it, which I think at age 25 at the earliest age. Yeah. Yeah. I think you're right. I think she's totally right. I totally agree with her. And look, if an adult wants to do it, I think that they're crazy and they really should get psychiatric treatment. But I wouldn't say that should be outlawed.
Yeah.
Denise Ann says, hi, Joe, please don't use GoFundMe. Use Give, Send, Go. The first one is a leftist propaganda supporting horrible company, and the latter is God-inspired people helping company. God bless you. Yeah, okay, so she's talking about, I opened this show where I was talking about the idea of starting my own GoFundMe. Well, you'll see what I'm talking about in a moment. I don't think I'm really going to start, but we'll see. Maybe we'll start it on the show here. Maybe I'll do it on the show. I'll create my Give, Send, Go. I agree with you, though. GoFundMe is a bunch of commie jackasses. Hands One Pack says, class action against the AMA for the prior recommendation. Yeah, it's hard to say that they were the ones who caused it. Next thing that makes doctors and hospital pause is if the malpractice insurance says no coverage. Yep, and that's going to come. As these lawsuits come, you're completely correct, Hans. When these lawsuits come, at a certain point, pretty quickly, and it could be just from this one, they're just going to be like, we're not covering this. We're not covering this. So, and that really would shut them down. It's a great point, Hands One. So there you go. I think it's a good day. It's a good day all around. Trying to decide if I want to sort of break off and cover something here about. There was a side thing. We're already an hour and 7 minutes in, and I haven't even gotten to the two main stories. All right, I'm going to put those other side things aside. You slow me down. You slow me down too much when I'm trying to do good work for the people here. We're at 13 out of 15 on there. Oh, look at that. Okay, so okay. Maybe I'll throw in this other story about this fired principal, which will make you all happy. This woke principal got fired up. Maybe we'll throw that in there together with the Elijah Schaffer part, if time allows. If time allows, because I know that my co-host here gets sleepy at a certain point. So I need to have him fresh. I need to keep him. It's very important we keep him fresh. All right,
let's do it.
Let's talk a little bit about some of these. Some of these folks from the Washington Post.
The smile on your face, smirk you have on your face is it's so great.
It's hard for me to figure out where to start with this.
When did you find this story? You didn't have it earlier when I talked to you, because
what, the Washington Post? No, I had the Washington Post one.
Why'd you sound so humdrum about the stories in?
Because I was like, I only had that one. I only had this one story, so I was like, I don't know if that's enough. But yeah, I think we're going to start with the New York Times reporting on it.
All right, let's go.
So this way we have a background for all the different tweets that we're going to see here of people crying.
Giddy.
Washington Post lays off more than 300 journalists. Oh, it couldn't happen to more disgusting people. Could not happen to more disgusting people if you tried. The Washington Post carried out a widespread round of layoffs in Wednesday that decimated the organization's sports, local news, and international coverage. Their international coverage is the part I'm really happiest about, because they are so slimy with that. The company laid off about 30% of all its employees, according to two people with knowledge of the decision. That includes people on the business side and more than 300 of the roughly 800 journalists in the newsroom, the people said. The cuts are a sign that Jeff Bezos, who became one of the world's richest people by selling things on the internet, has not yet figured out how to build and maintain a profitable publication on the internet. This is the New York Times getting all hoity-toity that it's all Jeff Bezos' fault. This is how the left is trying to frame it. It's all Jeff Bezos' fault. It's all his fault because he decided to try catering to the right, and that's why that's a failure. Not that it's been a failure forever. No, it's not that it was propped up by $100 million a year in USAID money, which it was. So yeah, not that. It's all Jeff Bezos' fault. The paper expanded during the first 8 years of his ownership, but then the company has sputtered more recently. Matt Murray, the Post executive editor, said on a call Wednesday morning with newsroom employees that the company has lost too much money for too long and has not been meeting readers' needs. He said that all sections would be affected in some way, and the result would be a publication focused even more on national news and politics, as well as business and health, and far less on other areas. Quote, if anything, today is about positioning ourselves to become more essential to people's lives and what is becoming a more crowded, competitive, and complicated media landscape. It's more crowded by folks like me, by independent journalists who are actually giving news instead of just presenting an agenda. Mr. Murray said, and after some years when candidly the Post has had struggles. So you want to see some of the people dealing with their struggles?
Well, yes. Why not?
Oh my God.
It is the Washington Post. They are terrible. Absolutely terrible.
So some of these are just standard, run-of-the-mill stuff. I was just laid off by the Washington Post in the middle of a war zone. I have no words. I'm devastated. Why are you laughing? That's so mean of you. She's like in Kiev somewhere or something, Lizzie Johnson, telling us how badly we need to be supporting Zelensky.
You imagine you're
is.
in the middle of a war zone and they send you your walking
The work in
papers?
Kiev continues, warming up in a car, writing in pencil pen, ink freezes by headlamp, waking up without power or heat or water. Oh, the poor Ukrainians. Oh, the poor Ukrainians.
They were so desperate to cut money, to save money, and try to stymie the bleeding. They didn't even wait till this lady came back home.
No.
They were like, hey,
sorry.
Maybe you should call her back and then let her go. No.
Sorry,
No.
Lizzie. Yeah. Sorry, Lizzie. That's terrible for you. No more propaganda about how we need to spend another $50 billion on Ukraine.
Who's going to propagandize us now?
Kurt Schlichter saying, I'm so tempted to start DMing laid off WaPo journalists and offering them a job buffing out my BMW, which I pay for by writing. I'm a full-time writer now. None of them are, and it just makes it so much sweeter. At least you tried. That's funny. I'll come back to this. All the feminized layoffees of the WaPo crime say maybe they should look in the mirror and ask why. They lied and lied and lied to the population. You got the world you deserve. This is true. The Washington Post, Evan Feigenbaum saying, the Washington Post has now laid off its Asia editor, its New Delhi bureau chief, its Sydney bureau chief, its Cairo bureau chief, the entire Middle East reporting team. Yeah, all those people who are sitting there shilling for Hamas. They're gone. China correspondents, Iran correspondents, Turkey correspondents, and many more. The world is becoming less America-centric by the minute, while the United States is becoming more America-centric than ever. We really don't care about the world, what the world is becoming. It's not like people in Cambodia are buying the Washington Post, doofus. It's just depressing. Somehow. Perfect summation of our current moment that one of the most important newspapers in the history of the country, one that has actually shaped the history of the United States, doesn't think reporting on the world is of any use anymore. One early perfect encapsulation of where we have arrived. Yeah, doofus, we don't care about the world. That's true. We don't. That's just.
I'm tired of worrying about it, to be honest with you.
That's exactly. This is America. That's what it is. It's America. I'll come back to that. Elizabeth Warren saying Jeff Bezos just fired hundreds of reporters at the Washington Post, including the Amazon reporter holding his own company accountable. Reminder, Jeff Bezos' net worth is nearly $250 billion. Yeah, and Carol Roth points out they're losing $100 million a year. It figures someone in Congress who loses $2 trillion each year for the country thinks it's okay to keep spending at a big financial loss. And it's a great point. It's a great point. Like, I don't want to hear people from Congress weighing in about like how they should be, spending more money, because it just is stupid. Like they know nothing about how to spend money, and they're saying, "Oh, Jeff Bezos, you should spend more money." Here's the typical leftist cry over here. So to be clear, Bezos announces a new moderate shift for the Washington Post. Then a bunch of journalists and other activists encourage people. Oh, this is not that. I'm sorry. I had so many of these. He's pointing out the irony of what happened here for the Washington Post. Mm-hmm. So Bezos announced a new moderate shift for the Washington Post. Then a bunch of journalists and other activists encourage people to cancel their subscriptions, which they do, resulting in more jobs now being cut. What are they upset about that? Today, it is exactly what they wanted. What did they think was going to happen?
Well, the only people that were reading it were those last people that you told, hey, this is going to be moderate. It's not going to feed you what you exactly want to hear anymore. And you told them to unsubscribe, unfollow, stop listening. What did you? They were the only ones keeping it afloat.
Yeah, they were.
Nobody I know buys the Washington Post since I was a teenager almost. Like, nobody.
I mean, I get it. I get it because I have to.
I was about to say, it's your job to.
And I hate it. And I hate it.
Yeah,
I hate it. Which reminds me of the whole give, send, go thing that I was talking about. Because this, look at this. The Washington Post 2026 layoff fund. They started a GoFundMe for these laid off journalists.
Oh no!
Yes. They've raised $289,000 so far.
You know, those journalists would still be there if y'all would have kept your subscriptions.
Rachel Siegel here said, on Wednesday, February 4, 2026, the Washington Post laid off hundreds of journalists. We're devastated and raising funds to help them. In the days ahead, we will need help in different ways. Financial aid, job search, and other forms of assistance. This GoFundMe is being overseen by Rachel Siegel and fellow members of the Washington Post Guild, and 100% of the funds raised here will be transferred to laid-off members by Venmo and Zelle to cover any needs in the coming weeks. Please share this far and wide. And I'm thinking this, I had to waste money on the Washington Post. I had to suffer through reading article after article in the Washington Post. And I feel like I need to be compensated for that too. So I was thinking I should start my own Give, Send, Go, not GoFundMe.
Give, Send, Go to
help compensate me for all the many horrible, terrible articles that I had to read of the Washington Post. If they're suffering, I'm sure, and maybe they're suffering. I get that, but why is it my suffering is any less significant? They caused my suffering.
They did, yeah.
And if people are willing to give to them when they're the causes of suffering, that's like Mamdani, visiting the stabbing attacker. I'm the police officer. I'm here trying to save you. I'm trying to save you so you don't have to read that garbage. And I can just basically I'm your filter. And the filter feels like it's a little congested. It needs some cleaning. So that's why I was thinking maybe I should start my own Give, Send, Go here to just sort of deal with my pain and suffering and all of that hardship that I had to deal with, because trust me, I don't like to complain. I have broad shoulders, okay? I have very broad shoulders, and I'm able to shoulder this burden for you, the public. But don't think that it doesn't weather me down. Don't think that I'm not impervious to the pain and suffering, having to read all about how the NFL is suffering from a DEI problem. Don't think that doesn't affect me. Don't think I don't suffer through that. So I don't know. I was just thinking maybe I should just start my own little Give, Send, Go so I can try and catch up here and with some of the damages I've been suffering.
I think you should do you should definitely do that. I don't see why not. Now, how are you going to calculate the mental anguish and the emotional damage?
Near media posts. I'm estimating the mental anguish and the emotional. I'm estimating it just conservatively
times 3. Remember, it's always times 3.
Right, at $750,000. That's what I'm conservatively estimating.
It's I think you're being very generous there and really going in below the bar.
If they're saying they need 350, trust me, I was a victim of them.
I agree with that, but Joe, you also need a return of what you paid for your subscription too. So you got to put that in there also.
And that's why I didn't just say 700. I said 750.
$50. The
$750,050.
You know, Your Honor, if I'm going to do this lawsuit, the 700, I would love that, but look, the $50 is on principle. I'm not leaving here without that. Okay,
that's the key. That's the key money right there.
Without that $50, I'm telling you that much. You have to drag me out of here. Compensation for lost brain cells.
Go.
Kimmy, the problem with Joe is, was there any to begin with? I don't know. You're really gonna start do it? You might as well. What are you doing? You for the meme, and then go put it on your Twitter page and promote it.
I'm just saying it's appropriate. I'm going to create a new campaign here. All right, here we go. Continue. Set my let's do this. Set my campaign goal. 700,000.
700,000 and $50. Look, we're not shutting it down till bare minimum. He gets the $50. Okay, we're not.
700,000 and $50. Donations, gifts, no, that's not happening.
Yeah, don't give that. What are you doing?
Okay.
Wrong button. Don't click that
your
other
campaign category. Is it emergency, legal?
Let me zoom in a little bit.
Creative?
It's not creative. Definitely not. You're not
pain
creative.
and suffering. Where's the pain and suffering?
Legal.
Legal.
It's not.
What? No, I didn't do that. Events?
Medical.
Ah, that's it. There you go. Medical.
Medical.
Definitely. Set your campaign. Give Send Go. WaPo. Melted my brain.
Melted brain fun.
That's good, right? WaPo melted my brain.
No, look, it seems legit to me. I don't see anything wrong with it.
Continue.
Chat, you imagine all the Kool-Aid and jumpsuits we're gonna get?
Choose your campaign creation method. AI assisted.
Okay. Yeah, you and Grok, you might as well.
Yeah.
Let AI do the work for you.
Hi, I'm Micah, GiveSendGo AI assistant. Now that you're done with logistics, let's fill in some details. I'll help you craft a campaign title and description. Okay. Tell us about your finding at least 200 characters. We'll help you refine it along the way. Okay.
Yeah, Colt Fun. A series
I am a podcaster.
Next time you write Colt a series of bets, put it in quotations. It makes Joe feel better.
Cover the law and news on a nightly basis. As part of my job, I had to read countless insufferable articles written by lazy, twisted, biased reporters from the Washington Post. I have sustained great damage. Great emotional, psychological, and possibly physical Physical damage. As a result. Please help. All right, there you go.
Yeah.
I think that's good.
Yeah, I think you nailed it.
I think it sums up everything there.
Mhm.
Voice is true, standing up to media bias. I like it. I like it.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I mean it's okay, but not really great.
Okay.
I still like WaPo melted my brain better, but I'm okay, man. Yeah, that's better. Melted my brain.
See, AI, you're not good at everything. Okay.
Hmm.
Quit bullying Joe.
What is this? What the hell is this?
It's probably the description they wrote for you.
My journey, resilience, and hope. One chilly morning, I found myself curled up in a corner, not out of fear or loneliness, but rather from sheer exhaustion.
I don't care anything else. Just that line enough.
This is actually pretty good. It was then that the reality of my situation hit me like a ton of bricks. For months now, I've been immersed in endless, even insufferable articles written by twisted reporters with bias too thick to ignore. The impact on my emotional and psychological well-being had been profound. Even as a seasoned podcaster covering the law news daily, I couldn't escape the burden that these articles placed upon me. A constant barrage of negativity from trust. I should put this in quotes. From trusted sources. The fatigue was overwhelming. Sometimes it felt like even breathing required an effort to push back against an invisible force trying to pull my spirit down into darkness and despair. But then something extraordinary happened. Hope took root in the most unlikely of places. I knew that and I knew that together we can make a difference. It began with one small flame, a spark of faith in humanity's capacity for compassion. As this ember grew brighter each day, so did my determination to share my insights and seek support from those who had faced similar battles. And now here you are. Your interest fuels our journey towards healing. It reminds us that even when life seems bleakest, there's always room for a flicker of light amidst the shadows, a beacon guiding us home through stormy weather into calmer skies. That's why I started this crowdfunding campaign, to bring awareness and raise funds to help me cope with my emotional and psychological challenges caused by prolonged exposure to, I'm just going to say the Washington Post.
This is so good.
With your support, we can break the cycle of negativity and fake news has held so many captive, including myself, and replace it instead with love, understanding, and hope for brighter days ahead. I ask you today, will you join me in this quest? Will you? Will you help restore my faith by donating whatever amount feels right to you toward reaching our goal of 700,000. Wait. Where did they get that number from?
I don't know. Better make sure the number's right.
Together, we can create a world where no one has to suffer alone because they're misunderstood or judged solely based on the content they consume. Let's rise up and take back control of what brings us down. Your donation can mean everything. It means so much more than just money. It represents your belief in humanity's capacity for empathy, kindness, and love amidst diversity. So please don't hesitate. Donate today. Help spread hope further into our world. Gratitude. All right, let's continue. And an image. What should I use for an image here? What do you think?
Ooh.
What do you
Should have
think?
created an AI image of you, like real sick, head in hands, you know, all downtrodden. Nailed it. Screenshot that. Zoom in, crop, go ahead. Post
Yeah,
that.
I gotta pull up a Washington Post thing. Hold on a second. Let's pull up a Washington Post. Let's pull up WaPo. So now I gotta figure out. Let's do this. Okay. This is what I was trying to use for my thumbnail earlier today. Okay, so now let me just. Okay, and now.
So
this is what I got here. There we go. Save this.
that's it.
Okay, now we need to come back here. Let's give a second go. Image, upload an image, and
Joe, what are you gonna do if this thing goes viral and you make all the monies?
I don't know. I'll use it for therapy.
$50. I'll pay for ChatGPT Premium, get it to give me some therapy, and it'll be, you know what? There we go. That's all I needed. But you know, every dollar helps.
All right.
The big congratulations. Here you go, Joe.
Was it just 70,000? Because that's oh, there it is, 700,000.
Oh,
There we go.
Yeah, they just made an error.
Fine. And if you want to help out over there, just I'll give you the link there. If you want.
Yeah, just give me the link. Put it in the private chat or drop it in the
Please help.
Please help. Please help.
There you go. Okay. There you go. Anyone who wants to visit now can visit over there. And we're good to go. You want to know why this is how stupid the whole democracy dies in darkness?
Mm-hmm.
This is why we should all hate. We should all hate the Washington Post. This right here. You're not even gonna believe it. This Tom Hanks here. You're gonna hear Tom Hanks talking.
Oh, that's great.
He's calling upon, from Saving Private Riley. This is like a thing from that, I guess. This is Tom Hanks talking.
Go off to war. When we exercise our rights. When we soar to our greatest heights. When we mourn and pray. When our neighbors are at risk. When our nation is threatened. There's someone to gather the facts. To bring you the story. No matter the cost.
Unless it's $100 million a year.
Because knowing empowers us. Knowing helps us decide. Knowing keeps us free.
They had that in the freaking Super Bowl.
Yeah, it made me want to go.
They wasted that money on a freaking Super. They paid like $5 million to post on the Super Bowl 7 years ago.
I wonder how much I paid Tom Hanks.
Yeah, that doesn't even count what they paid to produce that commercial. That dreck. Anyway, let's hear from some more of these people here. Let's hear from Jada Yuan. Jada Yuan, who cried through the first take of this video. Let's hear her tale here.
Hi all. I'm taping this while it's a little raw, but I was laid off from the Washington Post today along with around 300 of my other colleagues, and it's a pretty expansive elimination of this paper that I I think is really wonderful. And I have colleagues who are in Ukraine who are going to have to come back, colleagues who are in Jerusalem.
Reporting for Hamas.
We had a foreign editor quit because so much of his staff was decimated. And for our section, basically arts coverage that doesn't involve Trump has been eliminated. So
yeah, and when she says arts coverage that doesn't include Trump, what she means is anything that's not completely woke DEI crap. That's basically what she means. That she wants to be able to produce her woke DEI crap. I don't want to hear the rest of her crying there because I feel like I'm a jerk. Yeah, just look at the long faces though. Oh my gosh, look at this guy. Look at this guy. I didn't even know the Washington Post had a sports section, but apparently this guy was it.
First, we will be closing the sports department in its current form.
In its current form.
Several reporters.
I guess that's Wayne Connell. Wayne, following up. Yeah, you're done. Adios.
To join features and cover sports as a cultural and societal phenomenon, as well as several folks to staff the print sports section. This is obviously a uniquely and incredibly difficult decision. Our sports coverage is often superb. Our sports writers are among the most talented in our business.
And they look so sad now. But seriously, like literally today, there was an article about how the NFL has a DEI problem. So it's like, this is your sports coverage. It's like, no, this is like, I can't feel sympathy for you. I can't be crying for you.
The fact they said that they're the most talented and you're currently laying these people off blows my mind. Look, you guys are really good. It's not you, it's me.
It's not you, it's me.
Yeah.
That's great. Here's another clip of someone whining about it. I don't even know. This is CNN.
Sally, what is your reaction to these layoffs?
I think the only word I can say is grief.
No.
Everybody's in a state of grief. It's really like in the last year, it's just been one funeral after the other.
I am. My brain was melted.
We have nothing but going away parties. People being laid off, people taking the buyout, people just quitting. And it's just tragic what's happening to the Washington Post. And I don't.
It's tragic what the Washington Post has been for the last several decades.
There's nobody who doesn't feel that way. It's not just me. It's not just the people at the Post, but it's everybody in journalism.
I'm in journalism. I'm not feeling that way.
Colleagues at the New York Times are just as upset as anybody.
Because they know they're next.
Yeah.
That's why.
100%.
That's why. They totally know they're next. Or that some of the talent that's at the Washington Post is now going to be replacing them.
Yeah.
It's like, wait, it just got a lot more competitive here.
Because they don't want to see journalism dying. And they certainly don't.
No, yeah, seriously. If we don't want to see, this is journalism living. You going away is journalism living.
Want to see the Washington Post dying. The Washington Post is an institution, just like the New York Times.
Yeah.
And
institutional propaganda.
The idea of having the paper just wither away is just so sad.
Well, there you go. There you go. Lord, so sad. Sports writers are amongst those talented in the business.
Kills me. The guy is so dead looking.
He looks like he's dead inside, right?
He does. It's he's so depressed.
Yeah, definitely that. Oh yeah, this is what they were up to during the whole Russia collusion hoax.
Russian President Vladimir Putin gave direct instructions to help elect Donald Trump president. According to a Washington Post investigation.
Tell us more, Washington Post investigation.
Former President Obama received a secret CIA report in August. That report, quote, captured Putin's specific instructions on the operation's audacious objectives.
Complete crap.
Yeah.
Complete lies.
100%.
Defeat or at least damage the Democratic nominee, Hillary Clinton.
This morning, the Washington Post is reporting that U.S. intelligence agencies had sourcing deep inside the Russian government, capturing Putin's direct instructions in the operation. Obama officials felt that their effort to expel Russian diplomats in retaliation was undermined by the incoming administration.
Unbelievable how much crap they threw out during the whole Russia hoax. So yeah, that's their international reporting. Their vaunted international reporting. Unbelievable. Oh, terrible. And this woman who is going to just jump ship and work directly for Hamas over here, Claire Parker, laid off from the Washington Post along with the entire roster of Middle East correspondents and our editors. Hard to understand the logic. Well, it's not hard to understand. You're basically catering to an audience of college kids who can't afford the freaking $2 a week on subscriptions. But I am grateful for my incredible colleagues whose grit and dedication to the reporting and each other I will miss dearly. Hamas is hiring. Do you think you go to work directly for Hamas now, or they'll find another real support? The logic is that the employees of the Washington Post brought this on themselves. They catered to the narrow radical left audience and made their business model economically obsolete. Nobody should be surprised the employee culture did this. Anyway, so yeah.
Somebody says you need to go check out your fund balance.
I should, right?
I promoted it on my Twitter. I don't know how much of a difference that made, but
we're working our way there. We're working our way there.
Look, I want my cut, by the
so
way,
far we're up to
for having to put up with
$173.
Washington Post articles with you over the past 2-3 months.
Let's save our leader's brain. We need his continued guidance from Digger 49. This is great. Eisenberg, good luck, Joe. Daniel Weimer, $20. You guys are amazing. Ryan Kim sent me 50. You guys are too kind. I woke this morning, got struck by lightning by a cobra. Right then, I knew I had to go to Kivingo and donate to this legendary man. Thank you. Thank you, one and all. You guys are great. You guys are amazing. Wow. That is really great.
Oh.
That's
Elijah Schaffer's getting dragged by India News.
Are they?
Oh, yeah. Well,
let me get through some of these chats that came in and start working towards wrapping this up. Just one more thing. I'm a survivor. This is from Montana Bo Lady, who said that she had cancer. Just one more thing. I'm a survivor. I'm 70 now and still cancer free. That's awesome. That's awesome, Montana Bo Lady. You stay strong. We want Sin to share his story. There you go. Daniel Weimer says, the like button is right down there. It's right down there. You can't even miss it. It's right there in your face. WaPo journalists need to learn to code. Yes, this is true. Nick Shirley, maybe he's hiring. Yeah, all these journalists need a job. Maybe they should hire Nick. They should go Nick Shirley. Compensation for lost brain cells for reading WaPo. I think I missed one from her earlier. Did I? I remember seeing one from her, $10 one. Oh, no, I did. I caught that. Was a $2 million transition. I can't reach your gifts and go. How can I go on? Well, now you can. Belzoo. Washington Composts. Check the chats, Joe Sin. Come on. Pravda was an institution. Yes, it was an institution. Let me check over. Dominion of Dark. Nope.
This India article is too funny.
Dominion After Dark? Nope. Remember, they were going out of business when Jeff purchased them. His cash kept them afloat, not their own profits. That's what Hands One Pack says. Yeah, he's right. Yeah. Let's get a little bit more on the Washington Post here.
All right.
What did I have here? Oh, okay. There's really just one more that I want to.
Oh no, you're fine. I'm sorry. I was like, you know what? I need to pull some information on what's her name? I forget the girl's name. Sarah Stock, and then when you pull it up, India's tracking Elijah Schaffer. There's so many news stories from India. They hate him.
I think he's continually ragging on India.
Oh yeah, 100%. Yeah,
he's continually ragging.
But the fact that they're going, oh, I'm going to take a victory lap on you now. Take that, Elijah. How are you doing today? What are you doing now?
Shane Harris says, I spent 7 years at the Washington Post, did some of my best work of my career, had some of my best times of my life. Oh, let's. The people responsible for the misery that's about to unfold will probably fail up, which is a damn shame. There'll be a time for recriminations. But today, I'm going to channel my fury into love for the people in my old newsroom who are about to lose their livelihoods, and the ones who'll be expected to pick up the pieces. I'm sending you all every good thought I can muster. Please remember that this is not your fault. You did everything you could, everything that was asked of you and more. I was and remain proud to be your colleague. Unbelievable. This self-pitying is just so shameless. Shipwreck Crew quote tweeted this saying, people lose their livelihoods every day. They collect their things, put together a plan, move on. Journalists aren't special, even those working in WaPo. It's been a failed business model for over a decade. Today should not be a surprise to anyone. And it shouldn't be. It's something that everyone should have seen coming. There was another one here. I don't know what I did with it, though. I don't know why I don't see it now. Let me see if I can find it real quick. Because Brian Stelter had a stupid take about this. And I just wanted...
They all have stupid takes, though?
This was uniquely stupid. Did I save it here? I didn't thought I saved anything. I wrote Stelter. I wrote notes myself saying Stelter. I don't want to see. What's this? No, that's not it. Dang it. Here it is.
You were so excited you didn't have it organized properly. Way to go, Joe.
No, I saved it. I think is the wrong thing. Like I sort of made a note and then just copied the same link over.
Oh, way to go.
And instead of making the new link.
Oh man, we might just read this India article. I just don't know if I can do the Indian accent the entire time. Joe, can you do a good Indian accent?
No.
Hello, thank you. Wait, how do you feel now, Elijah? Talking all that shit for months on Twitter.
I don't know why you're doing a French accent. It's kind of weird.
It's not. Stop saying that. It's not. Oh man, you're gonna ruin my Indian accent reputation. Okay, not gonna put up with it. I am famous for my Indian accent. All right, I'm known around the world for it.
I was scrolling through Brian Stelter's timeline. You know how this is like? I should get.
Please don't tell me about it. I don't even want to know.
I'm scrolling through.
Oh, isn't
is this it? This might be
somebody
it.
says do it for the Colts in. All right. If the chat wants me to read that article as an Indian, I'll do that. That's what we'll do. It gets everything.
No, this isn't it. This is him talking about that kidnapping of what's her face's mother. This might be it. This is I think this is it. This made me laugh.
Former editor Marty Barron this morning calls this a case study in, quote, near instant self-inflicted brand destruction. He's putting the blame on Bezos.
He's putting the blame on Bezos.
And so is former Post fact-checker Glenn Kessler. He was known for giving those 4 Pinocchios.
Which were always so accurate, right? Those ridiculous Pinocchios that they gave.
Back during Trump 1.0.
Yeah, that's ridiculous BS Pinocchios.
Kessler writing in a blog post this week, quote, Bezos is not trying to save the Washington Post. He's trying to survive Donald Trump. Bezos was seen earlier this week with Secretary of Defense Pete Hegseth at a space event. Bezos has been focused on his Trump administration relationships, and many Post staffers feel they are the victims of that kind of attempt to curry favor and cozy up to the Trump administration.
So when in doubt, blame Trump. When in doubt, it's all Trump's fault. It's all Trump's fault.
Of course
He's
it is.
silencing everyone.
I wonder if when they were doing the reshuffling of WaPo, if Brian had a tweet maybe saying, you know what, with them going more conservative, you should probably cancel your subscription.
Yeah. Yeah, they all
guarantee you
they were
he
all
had one.
screaming that. They were all screaming that. And then they're like, oh wow, we're going broke. So stupid. As Daniel points out, shoveling crap is job security, writing crap isn't. Apparently.
Very true. Yeah.
It seemed like it was for a long time. It seemed like it was for a long time, but thank God that seems to be the current trend. So there you go. I think that just about covers it. I think that just about covers it. Yeah. So another one. Renee Collins wants to know if this will count toward our goal when she sent. This will be like my new thing now. You can send it. You can send it to Give Send Go. Yes,
You're up to 153 already. I mean, that's really good. You're pain and suffering.
My audience appreciates. They know how hard I work on.
They get it. They understand.
Sorting through this crap. They're very astute. All right. I did have stuff on before we get to your stuff, which we did hit our goal. I should do the whole go. I do want to cover Scott Bessent because that dude was funny today.
Let's do it. Let me go grab some water. I'll be right back because I got a feeling I'm gonna have to do the Indian accent after seeing the chat saying do it for the Colts. I feel scammed already.
Before you go for a drink, I want to share with you some really awesome news.
Oh, of course.
Okay, if I ask you which government agency is the least popular government agency ever, easily, it's very easy.
It's the IRS.
Exactly, the IRS.
Yeah, 100%.
Right? Everything about the IRS. Everyone in America hates the IRS, right?
Oh, 100%. Yeah, no other agency.
For the first time in its history, under Scott Bessent's tenure, people are going to start liking things about the IRS.
Okay, all right.
That's going to shock you all, right?
Okay.
Some new project that the IRS now has.
Give me my YouTube monies as tip. That's all I want, guys. Just make those tips.
Scott Bessent oversees the IRS and announces a new direction that the IRS is taking.
This guy's so old. Why does he look like he was filmed in 1974?
He sounds awkward also, but he happens to be like he really does, but he's actually like been one of the most awesome people in his administration. So
all right, I'm with it.
As civil enforcement is auditing financial institutions that facilitated the laundering of Minnesota funds, in addition to helping support criminal and civil enforcement efforts.
The IRS is now going to be auditing all the people who committed fraud. All those agencies that committed fraud by taking money from the government for, all those daycares and other facilities are committing fraud. They're now investigating the agencies that helped them along in getting the fraud.
Oof.
The IRS will also soon announce the formation of a task force as civil.
So that is what he announced earlier today. I know that clip was like a little bit like truncated, but Bessent just announced the IRS is launching massive audits of financial institutions that facilitated the laundering of Minnesota funds. Banks, MSBs, financial middlemen, anyone who helped move dirty money is about to get torched. For once, the IRS is being deployed for Americans first, not against working families. Follow the money, audit everything, prosecute whoever broke the law. Thank you, Secretary Bessent. So,
good job.
Yeah.
I personally wish he would just shut the whole thing down. But hey, a win's a win. I'll take a W anytime I get anything like that. Yeah.
Yeah, and I got a whole bunch of clips of Scott Bessent today where you can go get your drink now.
Yeah, I'll be right back.
Yeah, of Scott Bessent today where he had a he has to report about financial condition of the United States once a year to the House. And today was that day. And the Democrats were coming after him very hard on topic after topic. And this guy was having fun. And I think you're going to enjoy it. He was having a lot of fun. I can pull these up at random. I've got like half a dozen of these clips of him just torching these Democrats. It's great.
I believe the ranking member does not understand the definition of generalized inflation versus one-time price increases. I would also note that housing, especially for working Americans, a Wharton study has shown.
Let me give you some context for this clip here, because this is adding 10 to 20 million illegals demanding housing. Congresswoman is what caused a great deal of housing inflation for working Americans. So you and Biden administration should be ashamed. This is him having like balls of steel.
I believe the ranking member does not understand the definition of generalized inflation versus one-time price increases. I would also note that,
which is basically saying, I think you're an idiot.
Housing, especially for working Americans, a Wharton study has shown that the mass unfettered immigration, adding 10 to 20 million new people demanding housing, Congresswoman, is what caused a great deal of housing inflation for working Americans. So you and the Biden administration should be ashamed.
Which is also why we're seeing
voice.
rents. There was just a recent media story on this. Rents are going down partially because of that enforcement. So Mr. Secretary.
Yes, it is supply and demand.
Yep.
Supply and demand in housing, that's kind of why your housing prices are so high, is because you have to house an extra 20 million people. That's increasing demand. Let's jump over to him dealing with Maxine Waters. Is this the one I wanted? I think so.
My time
was a mass.
Time
does belong to housing woman. 20 million immigrants.
That weird.
Can you shut him up? Can you shut up? He's like, no, I'm not shutting up.
I just want one of her wigs to like hang on the wall. Maxine, honey, how much? Okay.
She looks like a taxidermy project that went wrong. Like, oh my God, where'd you get that pelt?
She looks like a banana that went bad. It's just terrible. I don't understand her at all. What is all of this?
Reclaiming my time. She asked him a question and she didn't like the answer he gave. So what they do is they start saying, reclaiming my time, because they only have 5 minutes or 3 minutes, depending on the session. So normally what they do is they grandstand and they'll basically talk for like 4.5 minutes and then screaming up some stupid thing, hoping it goes viral and doing nothing. And then finally at the end saying, would you agree?
I'm just waiting for her to scream, somebody stop me.
So she asked him a question. So when someone gives an answer they don't like, then they'll just start screaming, reclaiming my time, saying like, let me go talk now.
Yeah.
And she starts reclaiming my time. Like they sound like children when they do the whole reclaiming my time. And she's frustrated because he's ignoring her on that whole reclaiming my time, which is their way of saying, shut up, I need to talk. But yeah.
Housing stock of working Americans, and can you maintain some level of dignity?
Gentleman's time has expired. No, my time.
She's screaming, reclaiming my time. He keeps talking, and then they go, sorry, your time's up. She's so outraged by this. She's so outraged by the fact that he just ate up the last of her time.
Time has not expired.
Your time has expired. And the gentleman
took up my time. I think you should recognize that, Mr. Chair.
The gentlewoman's time has expired. The gentlewoman's time.
Well, if you want to,
gentlewoman, that's rich.
The chair recognizes the vice chairman.
Mr. Chair, if you want to
parliamentary inquiry.
Go right ahead, but I would not expect you to do that.
I tell you what, child.
She's so angry.
I love Maxine Waters.
This is pretty funny also. Like I said, he was having a lot of fun today.
Financial services firms.
Well, I think the Biden administration had an extreme.
Sir, please be responsive to my question.
I am.
I'm not.
he starts asking him about a question. And he's like, well, you have to realize what the Biden administration started us off with. And he's like, please answer my question. I am. This is hilarious.
And this back and forth is just eating your time. That the
look at
Biden administration
I
had
love
an
this guy.
extinction policy for crypto.
This is when Trump came into office. I'm going to go to the next question because you're not
giving me what I want.
Mr. Chairman,
You're not giving me my viral moment, sir.
Yes, you're not giving. It's exactly what it is because that's all these stupid meetings are.
Yeah, now.
the answers have to be responsive if we're going to have a serious hearing here.
Well, the questions have to be serious.
Oh, wow.
Yes, he said it.
Well, those are 100 dismissals of cases that the Trump administration came in and executed in their first weeks in office.
These are
certain
crypto cases that the Trump administration just
Who
said,
cares?
yeah, we're not prosecuting these anymore.
Yeah, leave crypto alone. Stop it.
There you go.
Like that. All of a sudden, all these crypto cases went away. The SEC was dropping cases. The Consumer Financial Protection Bureau dropping cases.
If you get rug pulled by crypto,
Look, you're on FSOC with all the heads of these agencies. This should be a serious question to you. Trust should be a serious question and a serious issue for the financial services industry, especially as the Secretary of the Treasury.
Well,
that's important. No, this is my time. I haven't asked you any more questions. I haven't asked you any more questions.
Shut your mouth over there, all right? You smarmy IRS guy.
I'm trying to get to my next question.
Could you speak a little louder? I can't hear you.
Yeah, okay.
I'll tell you when I need to speak louder.
Oh my God, he was having so much fun. Can you speak a little louder? I can't hear you.
Mr. Secretary,
I need a picture of him and Maxine Waters next to each other.
What was that?
I need a picture of the Lynch and Maxine Waters, like side by side. They look like Bizarro one another. He looks like Bizarro, Maxine Waters.
All right, I'm not seeing that really, but
he does. I think chat would agree with me.
Yeah.
I'll tell you when I'm done asking questions, that smart guy.
Yeah, I forget this one.
Calm down, Mr. Lynch.
Well, here's Mrs. Lynch.
What, if anything, are y'all doing to address the risk?
All these people are so old.
Yeah, because they're there forever. That's why.
Ma'am, your hair is not that blonde. Stop it. Dye your eyebrows if you're gonna dye your hair blonde.
And your scalp.
And your Jesus, man. Oh.
Yeah, this is like they took that guy from the crypt and just sort of took that same wig. All right, let's hear her question. You have to hear how he embarrasses this woman.
I got you.
The risk to households of mortgages and other forms of credit becoming unavailable in certain regions of the country due to climate change.
Again.
So she has her whole question about look, what about the whole mortgages related to climate change and all that stuff? And he basically shuts that down.
Congresswoman, are you familiar with KLW 24?
No.
It was the base for everything that was done with climate and with all the proposed climate legislation, and it has been discredited. So everything that FSOC previously did based on climate
Who discredited
has been discredited.
Who discredited it?
Nature Magazine has retracted the economic commitment of climate change more than 18 months after first learning that the paper was fatally flawed, with authors acknowledging that its errors are too substantial for a correction.
I'm sorry, I'm not familiar with Nature Magazine. We're relying on the Nature Magazine to determine public policy?
Unfortunately, that's what
Gentlewoman's time has expired,
and
I invite the Secretary.
What he was saying is, unfortunately, it was Nature Magazine that they relied on when they made the legislation. And the So they relied on it to make the legislation, and the Nature Magazine was like, whoops, we were wrong. So yeah, you were relying on it. Your source basically said, whoops. I got a couple more clips here of him having a great time.
Do you have any idea how much we're spending on ICE every single day for enforcement?
Again, Representative, this is the Financial Stability Oversight Commission.
But you're the treasurer. You're the treasurer. You're supposed to follow the money in response to questions on
Oh
this
my gosh,
side.
she reminds me of
You're
one of my
always
old
talking about, well, we
grandmothers.
follow the money. Well, have
Oh,
you followed the
no.
money? How much are they spending every single day in
I-
Minnesota and
again,
other states where they occupy
Congress
cities,
does the
terrorize
appropriation.
communities, and try to break up our.
That's not the financial side of things. That's an appropriation Congress does.
You don't know. You're not an elected official, Joe.
That's what he's saying to her.
You don't.
That's what he's like. Why would that be
Why would I
relevant
care
to-
about this, ma'am?
Yeah.
Country.
Again, President Trump has secured the border. He was elected
Well, then let him
a
stay at the border.
on a mandate.
Well,
And
I
he is
disagreed with you,
enforcing that.
and I think
You
you're
disagreed that he
confused.
was elected?
I think you're confused, but let me ask you about something else.
Okay.
You disagree that he was elected? Okay. This is a fuller exchange of the whole Maxine Waters thing. This is what this
Yeah,
is the one
ma'am, stop pointing at me.
I know you love Maxine.
I do. She's fantastic. She really is.
To investors raising concerns about the impact of tariffs, writing that, quote, tariffs are inflationary. Did you say that at that time? Yes or no?
No.
Did you say tariffs are inflationary? No. Okay. Well, the rest of my questions are all premised on you saying yes. So I'm just going to keep plowing ahead here.
Okay, thank you. Okay.
For a lady, I feel like could be taken out by one rare, like one hard piece of candy. She is so threatening at the same time. It is
Really? I don't think she's threatening at all.
She plays that role, like I don't know, man. I would hate to be her grandkid. Just
Yeah. Okay.
throwing that
fine.
out there.
Okay.
Article that,
Great
agrees that you
New
said
York
that.
Times.
Then last summer,
And
when you
she's like, well, the New York Times said you did. He's like, the New York Times. Okay.
you said, and I quote, there is no inflation. Tariffs are not being.
Oh my God, she does look like a Skeksis.
quite-
Oh no,
What?
a Skeksis from Dark Crystal. You never seen that movie?
Nah. Nah.
Chat, y'all know what I'm talking about. Let me see if I can find one for you.
And even claim that critics had, quote, tariff derangement syndrome. Well,
Tariff derangement syndrome.
Tariff derangement. I know. She's hilarious.
odds with the statement you made to investors that tariffs are inflationary. Again,
I didn't say
want
that.
to be clear, so just let me ask you, are tariffs inflationary? Yes or no?
According to the San Francisco Federal Reserve, with 150 years of data,
Yes or no?
tariffs do not cause inflation. San Francisco Federal
Well, last
Reserve
November, as
Congresswoman,
the Trump administration finally began to realize
150 years
that
of data.
affordability issues in America are not a hoax.
He's like 150 years of data says tariffs are not inflationary. But okay, you got it right.
You told Fox News that the government was going to reduce tariffs on goods like coffee and bananas. And that doing so, bringing the prices down very quickly. Mr. Secretary, why was that announcement even necessary? If tariffs aren't inflationary, and as you and the president like to say, are paid for by foreign countries, by the foreign country, a tariff on coffee or bananas shouldn't raise the price.
The fact I said she looks like an old banana, and now she's saying this.
Yes.
Come on, the comedy is beautiful.
Yeah,
Let
you
me-
really were pressuring because bananas come up a lot.
Let me share a Skeksis right quick. Skeksis. Here we go. Tell me that's not what she looks like. Let's share that screen right quick. Tell me that's not what she looks like.
Fair enough.
Thank you.
Okay. Fair enough. All right. And this is the last. I might have one more after this, but you were talking about bananas, so.
Since the so-called Liberation Day tariffs of April 2025, has the PMI been mostly above 50 or below 50?
So PMI, for those who are unfamiliar with that, just so you can understand the term, is I think it's Purchase Managers Index, It's basically how much purchase manufacturers index. It's basically whether manufacturing it's a reflection whether manufacturing is increasing, decreasing, or staying the same. And it's reported on month-by-month basis. A score of 50 means it's staying the same. Below 50 means it's been declining. And over 50 means it's increasing. So just for some background so you can understand factually what happened, because I looked this up after I saw this clip. So from April until December, the numbers were like around 48, 49. And so, he's about to talk about how it was decreasing every month. In January of 2026, it had a record surge of 52 to 52.5. It hadn't increased that much on a month-over-month basis in like 50 years. So this is what they're about to start debating about.
We just had the biggest increase in over a decade, and we are well above 50 now.
Has it been mostly above 50 since April 2025?
Again, long and variable lead times in manufacturing that you may represent.
Let me ask it differently.
Financial center, not
Since April 2025, for how many months has the PMI been below 50?
Where are we now?
I'll give you January went up. So what about April to December? It was below 50 for 9 consecutive months.
Where are we now?
So the score is 9-1. 9 months of manufacturing contraction versus 1 month of expansion.
I look forward to seeing you next year.
Nice. He's like, all right, let's see. I come back next year. We'll see then if it's 9-1 at that point.
So one of the stated policy objectives,
and we'll keep score.
Yeah,
okay?
one of the stated policy objectives of the Trump tariffs is to bring back domestic production. Does the Trump administration regret imposing tariffs on goods that cannot be produced domestically at scale in the United States? Do you realize in hindsight that was foolish?
Do you realize that we use the leverage to bring down tariffs from other countries to take down non-tariff barriers?
Tariffs on bananas give you leverage?
They do. You see, I knew you were going to love the bananas. And the answer is yes, it does.
Yes,
it does, because then when we ship them goods, we basically say lower your tariffs on our producers over here, so this way we can afford to buy more bananas.
Exactly.
So we temporarily raise it in order to negotiate them back down. That's basically just good negotiation skills. But the Democrats are clueless about negotiation. But Scott Bessent's still going to try making that point to them.
Colombia with Brazil. I think, Congressman, you're being very naive with negotiating.
I mean,
strategy.
we were promised reindustrialization. A tariff on bananas did not lead to domestic banana production. It simply made bananas more expensive for American businesses and consumers. The same is true of coffee.
I haven't noticed an increase in banana prices.
I also haven't seen that. Like, oh my gosh.
I eat a lot of bananas. Yeah, like
have you seen how bananas have been skyrocketing?
I mean,
I couldn't believe you even brought up bananas, because I knew I had these 2 clips coming with bananas. I was just
when you're good, Joe. I pray before every show, and God loves stupid people and small children and can't figure out which one I am. So
a little from column A.
Little column B.
No longer imposing tariffs on any product that has neither a domestic substitute nor a national security rationale?
That would be the definition of foolish in a negotiation.
So you're not willing.
No, I'm not willing to be foolish.
You're willing to impose tariffs that make more expensive goods that we cannot domestically produce here in the United States,
again,
and that have no national. What is the national security nexus of bananas and coffee?
Again, why would you do that? That there are numerous things when you negotiate with Indonesia. There are things that are only made in Indonesia, but the Indonesians brought down their tariff barriers or non-tariff barriers.
I get it. We have to make bananas great again. I get it. Thank you, Mr. Secretary.
Yep.
See, that's where he's looking for his viral clip there. Like, oh, we have to make bananas great.
Guy. Yeah, that one wasn't it, guy.
He was really proud of it, though. He was really, really proud of it.
If the WaPo wasn't too busy laying off everybody, that would have been front page news right then and there.
Felser points out that if it wasn't for Maxine Waters, we wouldn't have had rooftop Koreans. Thank you for causing the LA riots, Miss Waters.
Thanks, Maxine.
Once again, Maxine has caused another riot. Thank you, Congresswoman kids. Thanks, Maxine. You know what that was ripping from?
No.
That was actually ripping from that show, Married with Children.
Oh, I haven't watched that forever since I was a little
Once
kid.
again, your father has ruined another perfectly good trip. Thank you, father, kids. Thanks, Dad. Why doesn't Torres ask AOC how much PMI has gone up in District 14 of the Bronx? Yeah, seriously. District 14, AOC's district. What a disaster. A disaster for me from the day she got in there and she chased out Amazon. Mordred Kane says, Hail Joe and Cynic for giving this type of entertainment and news every Wednesday makes the week a little easier. Here you are, Joe. 10 shekels for you. Just make sure not to invest it all in one spot. And I appreciate your bad math there, that you think that that 20 bucks is only 10 shekels. So thank you. Thank you very, very much. I appreciate you. And glad you're enjoying the show. Speaking of, I think it's about that time.
Oh, is it? Oh, thank God I found the India article. I'm not going to lie.
That my co-host over here, we hit our goal.
Yeah.
Just letting you all know. And our goal tonight was that if we hit 15 super chats, $10 or more, or Rumble Rants and all the other stuff, that we were going to basically be allowing you to be doing a segment on
allowing me. I love how you've now positioned this as like it's
on Elijah Schaffer, because all week long he's been like, Joe,
all
please, please.
The story broke yesterday.
Please, Joe, let me do this Elijah Schaffer story. It's really great. Your audience is gonna love it. I was like, all right, look, we can try you out. Look, this is your big shot.
You basically said, all right, you can do that, and then hung up the phone. I was like, wait, what?
So there you go. So now, for the first time in Good Logic history, we're going to have Sin presenting a story to us. You want me to pull up a screen, or should I? You want to start by
share
talking?
My screen. Go ahead and share my screen. We'll go ahead and start discussing. Elijah Schaffer, chat, if you don't know, is a tradcath influencer. He's been around
Tradcath.
for a while.
What'd you call him? A trad?
Tradcath. Yeah. He's now Tradcath. Yeah. TRADCATH. So he's a guy behind Slightly Offensive, was a former Blaze TV host, the now CEO of Rift TV. And now he's got some shenanigans afoot. I don't know if you've heard about this, but just the other day he decided to, let me pull up the right one. He decided to make these cryptic posts on Twitter and then immediately delete them. And the sassy gay guy Milo Yiannopoulos decided to get in contact with him. And I'm not going to lie, I'm so happy. I was praying before the show about like, oh man, how do I put this together? Because Milo is petty. If you've ever read anything that Milo's produced, it's very petty. And so he will say some very spicy things about Elijah Schaffer. And
so they're not friends.
They were. He actually reached out to him. I've got a text message thread that we're going to go through a little bit of. But Elijah Schaffer posted, I'm a victim of serious targeted felony crimes. I am not
Can you do this? Can you do this in your quote unquote Indian accent?
This one's not. When I get to the Indian article, right? We'll read that one in Indian, right? I just wanted to lay the basis out for you, right? To show what Elijah did, because he's now deleted these. Okay. So he says, I'm not suicidal. They've kidnapped my family. They've stolen my money. I will bring justice. I need the public to know I'm in Virginia. The government is aware. I believe the FBI is trying to destroy my life and kill me.
Is it the juice? Is it the juice?
See, that's the man. He's been talking an awful lot about the Jews, right? He's been doing it a lot, but this time he didn't mention them. So there's where he decided. That was posted just mere minutes after all of this. He said, I don't know where my wife and kids are. I cannot get a hold of them. They are filed as a missing person. They've gone missing. Last enforcement confirms, or I guess I assume he meant law enforcement, confirms someone in my household set me up. They planted drugs and said I was a criminal. This will be a public trial by the FBI. Now, the reason why I had that car picture pulled up was because this little DM thread right here. Milo had reached out to him.
Let's make that a little bigger.
Yeah, let's do that.
Are you able to? Oh, there you go. That's much better.
Yeah. So
scroll up.
Milo had said that you should, you may wish to be offline for the next week or two. He was preemptively telling him, I'm about to drop this story on you. I know everything about you. You're doing some crazy things. So he normally does that. I think he did the same thing with like Nick Fuentes, and what's the big bird nose girl that was trying to get into Trump's campaign a while back? I can't remember her name off the top of my head.
Laura Loomer?
Laura Loomer. Nailed it. So Elijah Schaffer responds. Says,
I haven't heard from her much recently. Is that why? I don't know why.
Well, Milo took her out.
How do you take her out?
He found out, well, he knew some of her like staffers, some of her like friends around her, like employees or whatever they were, that were hooking up with her while she was trying to get into the Trump campaign, and she was making a bunch of like accusations about Donald Trump and some very nefarious things that she was claiming he was doing. And after that stuff came out, that story came out like a year ago, she disappeared. Poof.
Oh, she was very big leading up to the campaign.
Yeah. Well, she was claiming to be Jewish, and she was never Jewish.
Really?
Yeah, she was trying to help get like the Jewish vote and things like that. And Milo exposed her for
That she was for not being Jewish, you're saying?
Yes. Yeah.
That's pretty funny.
Yeah. So
usually it goes the other way.
Usually, most of the time, but she was trying to pretend to be Jewish, and she wasn't, and it was a big kerfuffle because she had like some sex scandals come out with like staffers and employees and things like that. She was nothing but a grifter anyway. Her only big claim to fame was like doing old SJW tactics. You know, people would like tie themselves to trees and not have them cut down, like hippie things. She was doing that to buildings and things like that, and saying she wouldn't be removed. That's all she ever really did. Either way, so Elijah Schaffer responds to Milo and says, "What do you mean? Cease and desisting people right now." And then he says, "But I got my car back, so that's good." Milo responds, "Are you stupid?" So that's that. Everybody's sitting here going, "Wait, why would the guy post a picture of his car? Why is he having this meltdown and all this stuff?" The only thing he cares about.
What is the story there? I don't even know anything about his car. Where does his car come up?
Well, because he was posting all these cryptic messages right here, right? So he had posted this one, he had posted this one, and then immediately after, he had posted he got his car back.
Okay.
It was just a random thing he kept throwing out there. It made no sense whatsoever. And people couldn't figure it out of why he was doing that until Milo dropped the direct messages with him.
Okay. So fine.
Yeah, it was just a cryptic thing because everybody thought, well, this guy's been talking about the Jews, talking about India, doing all these crazy things. Everybody knows that Elijah's been doing drugs for years. Like that is an open secret in conservative circles. If you didn't know, you weren't paying attention. And so they just thought he was having a drug-induced meltdown when they saw this before everything started coming out. Now, here's where we'll start doing the Indian accent. Thank God I got like 3 bottles of water beside me and some throat lozenges. So let's get to this. All right. Here's the Elijah Schaffer story presented to you by P India. There we go. Because there's like 5 of these so far in the past few hours because he did that whole tirade. I don't know if you remember a couple months ago where all these conservative people were going, all these like conservative influencers were just dogging on Indians, right? And then they started talking about Vivek Ramaswamy and all these other things. And rightfully so. The Indians are terrible. You know, like they're like taking over Twitter. Didn't you have like a whole thing where Indians were responding to you on Twitter a while back? You would click on their location and they would be in India somewhere. Joe?
I don't know what you're talking about.
You pulled it up on one of our shows.
I did?
Yeah, where a lot of these Twitter influencers are
in India.
Are in India trying to be
and claiming to be America. Right. That
Yes.
was when when Twitter started showing where people actually were from. So a lot of these people did seem to come from India. That's true.
They took her gerbs, put on
Right.
your. We're about to get to the Indian accent, okay? A series of bets. Calm down, okay? It's a lot. It's a lot, okay? It's a whole article I'm gonna have to read. All right, just
Okay.
calm
Okay.
down. All right,
Okay.
so let me go to her. So
I missed, by the way, I apologize. I should have pulled this up before you started your story. What's his face put in here?
What is that?
Woodtick Mike said IRS might need those guns. That was pretty funny actually. And Hands One Pack just said now the Indian paper makes sense since Cash's FBI is after him.
a story finally broke. One of his major like co-hosts or whatever on Rift TV was this young lady that you see right here. And
We're
when
gonna
you
need
do-
this a little bigger because it's just a little too small for us
All
to.
right.
You can just enlarge it.
Embiggen it.
Embiggen it.
There we go. Is that better?
Let me give more space to the screen, and that'll. All right.
All right.
Schaffer and Stock take pleasure in their animosity towards India and Hindus, and they appease their MAGA audience, much like other neo-Nazis. Okay.
Yes. So sex, lies, and hypocrisy, how anti-India MAGA influencer duo Elijah Schaffer and Sarah Stock imploded, an explosive scandal.
I don't know who Sarah Stock is.
She was doing she was co-hosting on Rift TV with him, and she did a lot of like another trad cath person. She claimed to be a virgin before she got married to a traditional Catholic, and we'll figure out the story from there. Okay.
All right.
Hello. God, Jesus Christ, why did I agree to do this? Hello, buddy. Rift TV founder Elijah Schaffer, the fervent India hater, infamous for his anti-Hindu content as part of his crusade to demonize the nation and the community, has now found himself embroiled in degrading controversy, which includes accusations of cheating, substance abuse, sexual violation, and even homosexuality. So, on February 4th, Wednesday, he had announced that his wife had divorced him and taken her children without informing him. However, the community note soon revealed that he had initiated the divorce on 22nd of January, and even claimed that his family had been kidnapped before he removed the tweets. Furthermore, he had also cheated on his spouse. So this stuff all comes out from Milo Yiannopoulos.
My wife divorced me and took my kids, and I have no idea where they are. I'm sober. I'm sad. I have good support. Thank you, everyone, supporting me during this rough season. I'll get through it. What?
Yep. Yeah.
When was that?
He posted this on Wednesday. After
a week ago or today?
February 4th. All this stuff happened
today. Yes.
Yeah.
Well, earlier. Yeah, Wednesday. Okay, fine.
Yeah. So all of it happened today.
Okay.
And he had divorced her on January 22nd. So he had known this has happened. He knew where his wife was. I have no clue why he's clickbaiting. Like there's also, and I haven't found any of the resources about it, but the new whatever it is show that he was doing, the new channel that he was doing is also in financial straits. Milo hasn't dropped that yet. At the end of his entire thread, he was like, later on, come back to my Twitter and I'll explain to you how Rift TV is broke and bankrupt already when it was worth $5 million just a couple months ago.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah. Schaffer was in a relationship with another rabid anti-India voice and his employee, Sarah Setka, known as Sarah Stock, who had a boyfriend. Interestingly, Milo Yiannopoulos, another member of the white supremacist cabal, posted a lengthy thread regarding 6-month relationship that started at the Conservative Political Action Conference, CPAC, in February of last year. He wrote, the affair ended, Jesus Christ, ended on the day she got engaged. About 6 months later, that time they experienced multiple pregnancy scares, and added that previous acquaintances even inserted that Stock underwent at least one abortion. Ironically, she supported the pro-life movement and wanted a national ban on abortion, alongside equal protection of unborn babies. So you have Milo's tweet here. It says, let's start with Sarah Stock. And this is he doesn't clarify if this is him to her or Elijah to her, but it says, if your husband doesn't know now, it's him to her. If your husband doesn't know now is the time. I understand you won't see it like this for long, but as you can see from the above, it is better for everyone that things come out in one burst today instead of metastasizing over weeks. Don't let him find out from somebody else. So Milo was reaching out to Sarah Stock and giving her a heads up.
Okay.
I mean, petty and sassy, but I mean, it says in February 2025, Sarah Stock and Elijah Schaffer began sleeping together. The affair ended on the day she got engaged. So that was his Twitter post that he made in the thread.
About 6 months later. Wait, what was that?
Oh, here you go.
About 6 months later.
In that time, they had experienced multiple pregnancy scares. It is alleged by one former acquaintance that Sarah got at least one abortion. So,
wow.
Yeah, Elijah Schaffer, your buddy, right?
Yeah.
Marlo additionally.
Now, I will say this, that like when Milo makes claims like this, I don't know how much of it is true or BS. Like it could be true, it could be BS. I'm just sort of like, maybe, I don't know. I'm not I'm not taking any sides here. I'm just saying like his credibility with me is
I'll give Milo this. All right. Over the past year or so, since he popped his head back up, he hasn't been very wrong.
Okay.
He started with the Laura Loomer stuff, and then he's gone on through with like Nick Fuentes' stuff, like all these other things. So far, he hasn't been wrong in a while now. But again, it's Milo. Take it with a grain of salt. You know what I mean? Take it with a whole grain of salt and penicillin because it's also Milo. Either way, Milo additionally made public an audio recording of Stark admitting to the affair and stating she would not unveil.
Let's do this without accent because I'm like because I'm just I'm having a hard time understanding. So like I just want to sort of sit back and enjoy.
You want to do it without the accent now?
Yeah, just do regular. Just do
All
regular.
Right, you got it. So Milo additionally made a public audio recording of Stock admitting to the affair and stating she would not unveil it to her husband. Now, there is a 4-minute audio clip of her discussing all of this, but it is a long clip of just her sort of explaining the situation. And it's publicly available. You can go to Milo's thread. If somebody wants to link it in the chat, they're welcome to. Stating that she wouldn't unveil it to her husband, who met Schaffer many times but did not know about their sexual relationship when he proposed to the duo.
When he proposed, the duo declared their love for each other,
Yeah.
and Schaffer expressed his intention to leave his wife.
Exactly. So you have Milo right here. It says Stock and Schaffer had sex on the day they met. That's the previous things. And then you have the tweet right there with the audio recording. And then you have the
It's
word
4
by
minutes
word.
long?
Yeah, it's 4.5 minutes long.
So let's do it.
All right, give me a second. Let me go pull that up. I got it on another screen. All right.
Did you share your screen with audio?
Yeah, it should be with audio.
Okay.
Give me a second. Let me go find it.
Because I mean, look, I don't trust Milo Yiannopoulos, but if like there's corroboration in that case, I'm like, okay.
All right.
Take any accountability at all because like
Can you hear that?
my fault too. What happened?
Sort of.
That was like not like I don't know. I felt like it was like he got me like very intoxicated. Like I don't even like remember most of it. And I was even like thinking back because it was like at CPAC the 2 nights. You're there, and the second night I was like breaking out in like a rash, and so he's like, "Oh, like get some Benadryl, it'll help with the rash." And like now I'm thinking back, and it's like that's probably why I like blacked out because he like intentionally gave me Benadryl and like fed me a bunch of shots and stuff. And like obviously it's like stupid on my part.
She's talking about Elijah Schaffer?
Yeah. Yeah, the night of CPAC.
He obviously like knew what he was doing.
That's as high as the volume goes, chat.
So he had it in his mind. Benadryl, what? Like, does that just make it increases like the toxicity or something? Like, gets you really screwed up?
Like mixing like a drug like that with alcohol.
When was what was this? CPAC?
That was when I very first met him in February.
Where was CPAC? I don't even remember this. Oh, that was in DC. Oh, I got you. Yeah. Benadryl for a breakout. Yeah. Okay. That's crazy. Yeah, he is. I know how.
Again, like I'm saying, like I'm not saying I don't like have any fault in that. Like it like definitely like ate me up for like a long time.
Yeah.
I feel very bad about it still.
Yeah.
But yeah.
All right, just pause it.
Yep.
All right. The idea that you shouldn't be mixing Benadryl with it's,
Benadryl's not going to do that to you.
I mean, and look, if Benadryl will do it, like that's something that like you can check on Google really fast. In fact, let's just I'm gonna ask.
You're going to look up the effects of Benadryl. Yeah,
I'm gonna ask Rock.
Let's do it.
I'm gonna ask Rock right now. Grok.com. I'll go with Grok.
Put the Indian guy back on. Joe's now interested in this and doesn't want any distractions from it because
Grok, can you just tell me what effect would Benadryl have on alcohol consumption, if any?
Mixing Benadryl with alcohol isn't a great idea. They both depress your central nervous system. It can ramp up drowsiness, dizziness, and impair coordination way more than either alone. In worst cases, it might lead to serious breathing issues or overdose. Stick to one or the other and wait a bit before switching.
Okay, so yeah, see, that's something she could have found out in 2 seconds. It's not like he's like Bill Cosby, slipping a pill into her drink. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, to me, this sounds like she's trying to make excuses for spreading her legs.
Yes.
That's how it reads to me. I don't
Well,
really
you got to remember these are both trad cath influencers. And when I say that, I'm not saying that to be like Mimi or with the times. Like that means that like Elijah Schaffer said that he gave his life over to Christ as an Orthodox Christian, which is like super serious, super strict. The rules are way above and beyond like me being a Baptist, right? The things that they do, the traditions that they have, things like that. And so for them to be front facing and presenting themselves this way is very, very bad. So she's trying, to me, when I was listening to this earlier, it sounds like she's trying to throw Elijah under the bus completely because she married a guy and claimed to be a virgin when she married him. And so she was on the Whatever podcast claiming that.
Wow.
Yeah. So she's trying to save any semblance of a career she has left, plus potentially a marriage.
Wow. Yeah. Okay. All right. Let's start. Let's move back to like the times of the article.
All right. So all right. So there it is. There you can see, like I said, you can go to Milo's thread and you can listen and watch all of this stuff. So Milo mentioned that Stockett claimed to be very drunk during their sexual encounter with Schaffer and thus could not remember all the events. Meanwhile, the pair acted as if they were devout Christians, donning religious symbols in public. He posted that several people were convinced that Schaffer is, or at least was, gay, while others viewed him as a cookie-cutter drunk and womanizer. Both groups are correct. I always, look, I'm not going to lie to you. When I saw Elijah come on that Nick Rekieta stream that you're talking about, I had watched it the day after, and I'd seen Elijah on their original show, right? You Are Here podcast or whatever it was.
He was drinking and he was talking about his wife a lot.
He was talking about like really loving his wife and he had gotten married and all this other stuff.
And we were talking about what, as I recall, he was talking about how he thought she was smoking hot and that he was basically helping her get a green card. I think that I have vague recollections of a conversation along those lines.
But I remember watching it. It was the first time I had seen him outside of like a coordinated show. You know what I mean? Where he was just sort of relaxed, hair down, doing, being himself. My gaydar went off and I was like, is she that hot though, Elijah? Do you think she's that hot? How short's that haircut, buddy? That I remember it like it was yesterday. So
he does have an effeminate way about him.
Yes. And that's guys can be metrosexual. I get it. I understand, but he did come off to me like, a little sweet. So like I said, both groups are correct is what Milo says. And so again, those are the tweets confirming it. The next section is called The Twink and the Virgin. Milo then shared that Schaffer underwent a twink phase prior to his wedding. A twink is a slender young homosexual male. who enjoys, I'm not going to read that next part at all. They enjoy older guys. We'll put it that way. This period seems to coincide with Schaffer's time as a youth pastor. He informed Schaffer left the church in a hurry when it was discovered. He was discovered having sex with another man, Milo further highlighted. And again, there's the tweets corroborating the story.
What's the tweets corroborating? What's corroborating? That's just Milo saying it.
So the first one says Schaffer said he had the twink phase, the part that I'm not going to read. But then the next one says a little known fact about Schaffer is that he attended a church with a group up around Benny Johnson, at who Schaffer attended.
The Benny Johnson?
That's the Benny Johnson, yes.
At whose house Schaffer attended sleepovers while they both attended Calvary Chapel. Schaffer left the church in a hurry when he was discovered. What?
So Benny Johnson will be probably pulled into this in some shape, form, or fashion.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow. I like Benny Johnson.
Benny didn't have nothing to do with it, right? They just, they grew up next to each other. So, Milo remarked that there were too many hypocrisies to count, such as Stock was posting online while she was cheating on her boyfriend with Elijah Schaffer almost weekly for 6 months. She told her partner to wait till marriage, and she pretended to be a virgin. Sarah Stock's husband believed he was marrying a virgin. That's what she told him, or at least allowed him to believe. What he don't know is how she explained not being intact on the big night, he wrote. So this is a picture of Sarah Stock where Milo had said there are too many examples of outrageous. So that's basically the same tweet. But he says, she said, I'm officially Catholic. Ave Christus Rex.
I don't know what does that phrase mean?
I'm not Catholic. I couldn't tell you. I'm not Catholic at all.
Does anyone in the chat know what that means? All right.
Normally, I would have a Catholic in the chat.
I'm sure someone in the chat will know. Let's go on.
All right. So, Milo says, actually, that's not quite true. We do know if she made him wait.
Durna is giving a translation. Everyone's sort of saying,
Christ is king. We do know she made him wait. She did because Sarah Stock's husband believed he was marrying a virgin. That's what she told him, or at least allowed him to believe.
All right, so I care less about Sarah Stock than I do about what the heck happened with. I want to sort of move past Sarah Stock and that whole thing, and more like I'm curious about the whole kidnapping and stuff like that. Like, what the hell was that? Do we have anything on that?
Oh, they're perfectly fine and accounted for.
Well, that's good.
They have been spoken with. They're perfectly fine and accounted for. Nobody knows exactly why Elijah posted that yet. He's not speaking on it so far. And they have been in contact with Milo, actually, has spoken to him, and other people have been in contact with him. The kids are fine, the wife's fine, and there's nothing wrong. Elijah Schaffer just had a huge crash out over his divorce and said a bunch of crazy things, which then caused a firestorm of controversy that was going to come out, and Milo jumped on the story first.
Okay, so Milo conveyed that Schaffer's drug use, alcohol consumption, and adulterous encounters have persisted through his marriage, which was hastily arranged once he decided to pursue a conservative media career, and his fetish for...
Don't say that. You don't need to say that.
Is sufficiently well known that has been disclosed repeatedly, included by influencer Brittany Venti. He outlined Schaffer owns an electric
toy,
which he has taken with him on vacations to El Salvador and other places. The latter employs and boasts about hiring female prostitutes on these trips, however, spends much of their time together being
stimulated
by, oh my gosh.
It's bad. I'm telling you, it's bad. That's why I wrote a synopsis as best as I could for all this. Like all of this stuff came out, and it's like, I mean, they haven't even got to the drugs. The broke drug addict with a proclivity for cheating and sexual assault. Schaffer is on a cocktail of both illegal and prescription drugs, including peptides and accelerants. He has been blacking out from excessive alcohol consumption in combination with these chemicals multiple days per week for years. Milo's detailed and uploaded recordings of the former acknowledging the same So if you want to watch that, we can. I don't know how long
That's okay.
Yeah, it's a mess, man.
Wow.
Milo commented that Schaffer's conduct as a husband and father has been derelict, frightening, and neglectful in the extreme, and asserted that his wife applied for divorce in Texas in January following years of adultery and insensible outbursts while intoxicated, abuse, and wrongful charges of felonies. Worried about his manly public image, Schaffer filed in Florida so he could pretend he had instigated the divorce. And so he said,
So wait, so his wife left first.
Yes.
Uh-huh.
She left first, and then he filed in Florida. Milo says, out of respect for Schaffer's soon-to-be ex-wife and for the sake of his children, I'm not reproducing messages between the Schaffers. Suffice it to say, Elijah's contact as a husband and a father has been derelict, frightening, and neglectful in the extreme. And then there's the civil cover. I mean, the court documents right there.
When were they filed?
See, they were filed January 22nd.
Uh-huh.
Go see if I can find the actual document on the thread. Give me a second.
That's all right.
All right. So yeah, they were civil cover sheet, the petition, everything, notice of appearance, all that good divorce paperwork you got to do. So afterwards, Milo revealed that Schaffer is dealing with a hard divorce that is made more challenging because he is flat broke, and explained he raised money for his new endeavor, RIP TV, at a $5 million valuation, including one investment over $250,000. But the money is already gone, as are the staff. Rift TV is insolvent and heading to bankruptcy. Milo outlined that dozens of stories about his private modus operandi are flooding in. They're all the same: aggressive, sexual assault, profligate spending, vast quantities of drugs and alcohol, and at the end of the night, a foreign object. Well, in Elijah, that's what he says.
Gosh,
it's your buddy.
Oh my gosh.
Milo also attached screenshots of
it's such a typical Milo way of speaking, also, right?
Yeah, I mean, this article is mild compared to some of the stuff in Milo's actual thread.
This is how he talks all the time.
Yeah, he would do this in front of doing a speech in front of like college kids or in front of Congress if he was there. Like
this belongs in an Indian accent.
Yeah. Milo also attached screenshots.
Elijah, very, very bad man.
Hello, Elijah. Why are you doing that? Why are you putting things in there? You're not supposed to do that. Why do you make fun of Indians for being dirty? That's pretty dirty.
Let's get back to it. Oh my gosh. How much more is there?
We're about halfway through, but a lot of a lot of it's the tweets though. So he recounted Schaffer's actions, which involved taking Milo attached screenshots of tweets from 2024 made by YouTuber Blair White, who recounted Schaffer's actions, which involved taking her gay friend into a room alone and continuously cheating on his wife, and sexually assaulting a married female coworker, which was what's her name, Sarah Gonzalez. So that one was a big one. That's what got him fired from the Blaze. So Blair White had posted those tweets back in April of 2024. Meanwhile, Schaffer alleged that his wife and 2 kids were missing. He tweeted that a gun and his car disappeared. He also charged that federal authorities were attempting to frame him and drugs had been planted in his house. Those posts gained massive traction on social media, but he deleted them. So you have Abby Libby, who had archived them, and that's Milo stated that he's been in contact with Schaffer and posted images of the chat. He also verified that the latter's wife and children were safe. Then they go into just the Indian hate, the deranged animosity towards India and Hindus. And that's when they just start dragging him for hating Indians.
Okay, no, this is like Schaffer and Stock take pleasure in animosity towards Indian Hindus as they appease their MAGA audience, much like other neo-Nazis. See, this is how I hate oh yeah, everyone's neo-Nazis. He utilized a derogatory image and mocked that India possesses 0 medals in the Olympics, even with a population of 1.4 billion.
So there's the tweet.
That's
of
pretty
him.
that's a pretty funny tweet.
Yeah.
The two went so far as to disparage Hindu deities, labeling them as false, and wrote "Curse Vishnu" in a startling demonstration of their Hindu
Mija.
Hindu Mija.
Yeah. So yeah, they both posted the same thing. Probably like a month apart from each other. So Schaffer lashed out at American politicians for their greetings during Diwali, which he termed as a demonic anti-Christian culture. He also characterized Hinduism as a demonic religion, insinuating that their ancestors did not die for this. So there's his tweet. Thank you to all the politicians wishing us a happy day to celebrate a demon religion. Nothing better than having our elected appointed officials celebrate demonic anti-Christian culture. This is what our founding fathers wanted. That's why they died. Wanted. That's why they died for us. Schaffer labeled Vivek Ramaswamy as a liar and a fraud, asserting that the United States does not require India to confront China. We are engaged in a cold war with China that requires serious intelligence. He remarked, calling Indians as third world individuals with an IQ of 72. He subsequently declared that their immigration would not enhance intelligence, but would have the contrary effect. He just was going after India. Now India is just I guarantee you more of these are going to come out because India don't play with their social media presence. It's very funny to watch them go after people. Schaffer attempted to inaccurately equate Indians with Islamists, alleging that he is financing an expose regarding their takeover of Texas and the United States by taking money and manipulating the system. Now this one, Joe, this next picture might trigger you a little bit. Okay. Breaking, I am dedicating all my resources exposing India and the Islamic takeover of Texas and the USA. And then he has a he
hates BB.
Oh yeah 100%. Yeah 100%. Schaffer grabbed headlines for attacking the accent of Abraham George, the chairman of the Texas GOP. The Texas GOP is led by an Indian with an Indian accent. Now you know why Texas is turning into Mumbai and a center for H-1B immigration fraud. He contended last month. He then slammed the Republican Party and charged our own party is orchestrating. It is not just the Democrats. Indians are loyal to their race, and non-Indian politicians are paid off.
Yeah, he's very into the whole race thing. He's really into the whole race thing.
Oh, 100%. Like he is. Like he dove into it head first.
He's really, and that was when I was on his show when he started just talking about different races. I was just like, that's when I was feeling like I was at some. I was I was just picturing his whole audience just screaming Sig Heil.
Yeah,
it was just like this was. I was like, wow, this is really 1930s thinking right here.
Yeah, it's bad, man. The way, well, you know as well as I do, we talked about this before. Candace Owens started doing the I'm just asking questions thing.
Right.
And look how much money she's making.
Yeah.
Elijah was floundering when he left. It was he was sitting over there in Australia. His show wasn't doing that great. He just moved over there. He just ended a lucrative deal with the Blaze for this, what we had talked about before, right? The Sarah Gonzalez sexual assault allegations. And so he just found another community to glom onto, which really does brush up to the right wing a little bit in certain things. None of us like H-1B visas.
Nope.
None of us like them. And so you say the right thing with a couple, inflammatory, derogatory statements to go, ooh, that's spicy. You got 1 million followers on Twitter in a heartbeat.
Yeah. No, that's actually, that might be the most insightful thing I've ever heard you say. That was really good. That's true. So, if you tap into something that it is fits with the norm, and then you just ratchet it up to 11, and you say things that are edgy, even if they're somewhat ludicrous, you're going to just all of a sudden, that's how you skyrocket.
Yeah, 100%. So that's the end of the Elijah Schaffer story as of now. The rest of it just goes into what we already discussed about him being let go from the Blaze and his history at the Blaze. We all, like I said, we went over that in the beginning.
So basically, those posts on his posts on X were basically BS designed to get attention?
They were either designed to get attention or they were some sort of like manic drug episode.
Wow.
One of the two. Because I don't know why you would be filed for divorce. Kimmy Hunt. Bloody Elijah. Bloody bastard bloody. I don't know. Like Elijah Schaffer, why do you do that? You sit there, you make fun about no Olympic medals and you stick things back there. I don't know why you would do that. It's not good. Do you have any Gucci shoes? We do in India. We make them.
I wish somehow that the Jews actually engineered Elijah's downfall. Don't worry, they'll get blamed.
I was about to say, I am waiting for this. So when I was researching it, I said,
We're totally gonna get blamed.
That's what I was hoping for.
It's all because Joe talked about it on his show. That Joe talked about it on his show. That was it.
It is. You get a lot of this though with these people who they become media influencers or social media influencers or whatever. And it's something I tell my audience all the time when they go like, Cynic, are you this way off the show? I am. The only difference is I can be, I'm a little quieter. I don't talk as much. But that's about it. Just be genuine. And these guys can't. Once they see that blaze money, once they see that whatever community is paying them, they start leaning into it. It's insane.
And just to update you all, not that, sorry, wrong one. We're up to $163 now. We're well on our way towards our goal of $700,050 because my audience helped me because WaPo melted my brain. Most recent donation here was from Maria Romano saying, "You rock, Joe," and Sin cracks me up, although I sometimes question his sobriety. So
nice.
Aquatic Bugs Matter, AQM, they from the anonymous giver. And look at these beautiful, these very generous people. So thank you very much for your donations to my Give, Send, Go WaPo Melted My Brain. And you were all very, very generous. And it's hard for me to even think because they've done so much to my brain. It's just, they've done so much.
We'll get there, Joe. Don't worry. We'll punish them.
But it is time for us to start landing our plane, I think.
Let's do that. Yeah.
Yeah. So why don't you tell people where they can find you?
Go to f.f.s podcast on YouTube. We are climbing to 1,000. We've jumped up like 100 subs over the past week, thanks to this beautiful show and other beautiful people. We're currently, you remember Monograph with Ricada? We're currently covering two guys like that really don't like me. One of them's gonna call my mommy, and the other one said he's gonna call my dad for bullying him. And we found out some very nefarious things about these gentlemen. And one of them's now threatening a lawsuit. So if that happens, I'm bringing it to the show. I'm going to bring it here on Wednesday, and we'll
Beautiful. Beautiful. All right. And trust me, if he's going to hire me as a lawyer, it's going to need a lot more than $700,000.
No. I'm going to represent myself if I get sued because this lawsuit will be hilarious. I'll just fund it through live streaming. It'll be great.
Nice. All right. That's all I got for you tonight. I thank you all for joining me. I'm going to remind you, I don't remember because WaPo melted my brain. Well, don't eat the bugs. Have a good night, everyone. And as always, Godspeed.
Bye.